Hello everyone and welcome once again to Blackpool and the Waterloo. To win this annual championship is the biggest achievement any Crown Green bowler can aspire to. Over 1,000 started the trek, only 8 remain, including a man who first won it. Now would you believe this? 34 years ago. No wonder they call him the living legend. First of all, Rob, have you spoken to John Bailey at all about last year?
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
Did he give you any words of encouragement or tips?
Yeah, put him close.
Put him close. That's not a bad word of advice. I'm sure Noel would agree with that. What is the explanation behind your longevity? You won here in 1972. You won a major flat green title in 1985. You won again here in 2004. You just keep going on and on.
Well, I've always worked hard all my life, and I've always enjoyed this game, and it's just kept me pretty young, you know. So I think so.
Do you feel as enthusiastic today as you did, say, back in 1972?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This is one of the greatest occasions in the bowling calendar, and it's great to get here again.
Okay, well, we'll let you get underway. I know it's all very nervous for both of you. Rob, I'll ask you to call if you don't mind.
Heads.
Heads is the shout. It is, in fact, tails. Noel, you're going to take the block, presumably. Best of luck to the two of you. The first of our quarter-finals. And for those of you at home, the commentary is by Mike Wakeland and John Gwynn.
Well, thank you very much, Elton. Here we go again on this breezy, not so warm early autumn day in Blackpool. And yes, as Elton said, Rob Pearce against Noel Burrows. This man in blue, 62 years of age, twice a former champion here, and one of the legends of the sport, no doubt about it, Mike Wakeland.
He is, certainly, and we heard Elton say that Rob Pearce had been advised that he'd got to get bowls close, and in this game, John, I think he'll have to, because in Crown Green bowls, knowledge of a green is of paramount importance, and Burrows has all the requirements on this green, as he's proved in the past.
Well, the man rather appropriately in red, representing, of course, North Wales, and yes, it was John Bailey on this very green 12 months ago who became the champion, and how much Rob Pearce would love to follow that up against the man in blue, Noel Burrows. 39 years of age, Rob Pearce, from St Asaph. He bowls for the St Asaph club, plays in the Welsh Super League, and he reckons his greatest achievement to date is the George Davis Colwyn Bay Festival back in 1995.
Here's two. That's an important start, John. Psychologically important for the Welshman.
Yeah, greenside down here at the Waterloo. This is the betting jungle. All the bookmakers down at the front here, all trying to get the best value out of the punters. All these people at the back of the experts. They condemn every bowl. They're shouting out the minute the ball leaves the hands, telling them it's a good and a bad, and put the fear of God into the bowlers on the green. Everybody's the expert. They're trying to get the best value. They're trying to pinch the odds. Greenside at the Waterloo.
Immediately gone a long length into the running corner, and that's an exceptionally good lead by the Welshman, putting Burrows under pressure straight away.
Well, he is, isn't he? Took the first two, of course, and now taking the jack right across to the far northwest corner of this famous green, and certainly Pearce holding the early advantage here. 2-0 ahead, one lying very, very nicely indeed, and this one is following up. It's not a bad one at all. He's 2 in at the moment, but I would rather suspect, Mike, that Burrows may be able to deny him at least one here.
I would have thought so, and he'll be disappointed if he doesn't. Nearly won it.
Oh, quality, class. Brilliant ball by Burrows there. 2-1 it is now to Pearce. But what a great last ball from Burrows. Brilliant.
Yes, absolutely brilliant, and perhaps he didn't get it close enough, John, after my opening comments. But yes, Noel Burrows a superb player, and as Elton said at the start, the complete bowler. Won the 1985 Super Bowl, beating the legendary David Bryant.
We've got Joe here, one of the members of Sale Excel here, and a few of the Noel's teammates here. Are you all here supporting him?
Oh yeah, of course we are. Yeah, no, all the way.
Have you had a bet on him? Have you bet him
Yeah,
up?
we had a little bet.
You got a good price.
My mate here's got a bigger bet, but
What price has he got?
he's got 25 to 1.
What price have you got?
Mine's only 8 to 1, man.
Is he going to make it 3 times?
I don't know. No idea. I'm not going to put mockers on him.
You're not going to put the mockers on him? They've all backed him anyway. The men from Sale Excel are supporting Noel Burrows, going for a 3rd time Waterloo.
As Burrows leads 2/3 the way, I would suggest, across the green towards... Oh, but that's a lovely reply there from Pearce. That's not a bad first ball from Burrows, but what a lovely reply.
Yes, some good opening bowls in this encounter. And of course, I asked Rob Pearce, when did you last play Burrows? And he said when he was age 16 and he scored 4.
Yes, and that was in a pairs contest apparently, as this one. Oh, equality again, already so early in this contest. We've seen Noel Burrows 2-0 down off his own lead, but then providing real quality in gaining the lead back, and look at that, nestling nicely along like two good friends.
And demonstrating that he is, over the years, and has been one of the best correctors of a second bowl, John.
Burrows 1.
Well, just the one there to Burrows. He's 2-all then in score, but I'll tell you what, the 2 that Burrows has secured have been 2 masterful deliveries.
The sign of a champion.
But 2-all, very much game on, and Burrows will take it back across there towards that northwest corner where the north stand joins the west stand.
Noel Burrows over the years, John, has displayed what I call the 3 C's in Crown Green bowls: confidence, concentration and consistency, and that's what makes a champion.
Yes, I reckon that goes for most sports, or all of them if you like, but I know what you're saying. Noel Burrows beat Simon Coop, former runner-up in this competition of Preston, in the last 64, 21-10, followed it up with a 21-17 victory over Chris Mordew of Bradford, and then beat a former champion, Gary Ellis of Whitefield, 21-19 in a thrilling last 16 match.
Plenty of chance here for Rob Pearce to get in.
Well, it's difficult for us to say at this moment, indeed, who's gained the points there, but all will be revealed in a moment.
Close look.
Yes.
Burrows 1.
Well, again, 1 to Burrows. It was his that gained the day. He's 3-2 ahead, having been 2-0 down after the first end. 4 ends gone now. 3-2 to Burrows, and a sort of player who, once ahead by however many, is going to be difficult to peg back.
And he's delivered the jack here slightly further this time, trying to catch Pearce out, but unfortunately that bowler won't be satisfied. He's put that ball where the jack was previously, John, so he's caught himself out, which is unusual for Noel Burrows.
Yes, because it was quite deliberately a slightly longer jack by about 4 or 5 yards, and that's a superb first delivery. You'd have thought he was the man who'd led the jack, wouldn't you?
The Welsh Dragon on fire.
Well, already early in this contest we've seen some wonderful, wonderful accuracy, measurement of length, weight and line.
Trying for 2.
Well, there's no doubt about which is the winner there. You don't have to ask the bookies to give you odds on that one. It's a case of which one is second. So just the one then. 3-3 it is.
Welcome back to Blackpool and the first quarter-final of the Waterloo Championships 2006. Noel Burrows and Rob Pearce are locked at 3 across.
Another good bowl, John.
Yes, this is going to be some match. It's 3 apiece. Locked together early in this contest after 5 ends, as this one from Burrows is just going to wheel away the wrong way from the little yellow one. So are we going to see Pearce, who picked up 2 in the first end, and looking to do the same again here? It looks to me as though that's going to nestle nicely on this side of the jack, and work to do here for Burrows.
Certainly, and he'll want to correct that first bowl.
One down.
Oh, only one down.
Oh well, that just goes to show.
The front one.
The referee's saying it's the front one that's ahead. That's the one that he's down by.
Likes it. Just need to pass the bowl.
Well, not for the first time here, and in that same corner as the very first end he won, we see the class and the quality of the 62-year-old from Hazel Grove. Wonderful, wonderful accuracy.
The unflappable Noel Burrows is sometimes referred to, and I think he showed it there. Needed to concentrate, asked for the referee to make or give his opinion on what the position was, and took full advantage of that.
Well, he's 4-3 up, as you can see, and I reckon that if you take the measurement of each of his 4 winning deliveries, you probably wouldn't get a metre combined, all of them combined.
No, and that will be sending shivers through the spine of all the other players who are watching at the moment, John.
Indeed, although this man Rob Pearce did say that he was looking forward to this contest. He said, "I'm not going to be fazed by the master."
66-1 at the start was Rob Pearce.
Well, he's got to make this 4th one count, as Burrows looks like threatening to go 2 up for the first time in this match. It is chances, and well, having given credit to Burrows previously, one has to say again that Rob Pearce delivers a superb bowl to take us to 4 apiece. And if Burrows didn't know that he had a game on before this match, he knows now.
He does, and for all those young players watching, there's a perfect example in the first ends that we've seen of both these players correcting the second bowl, and that's important in Crown Green bowls, because that's what wins you matches.
Well, he's gone way across now towards the northeast corner, towards Central Drive, the Central Drive stand, and Burrows, this is his first bowl, possibly
That one
closer,
just gone
difficult
out.
to
Just gone
say.
out.
Yes, it just went on perhaps 6 or 8 inches more than he wanted it to. So at the moment, it's that first one, the one to the right as we look at it there, belonging to Pearce, that leads. Well, he can only get 1 then, Pearce, and you'd rather fancy Burrows, as he's done before in this contest on 3 occasions, will make the last bowl count.
Not this time, I don't think, John.
No. He'll be disappointed with that, I should think.
Pearce, 1.
Just the 1 to Pearce. He goes 5-4 ahead. There's something of a ding-dong contest.
Yes, and I'm just wondering whether this is tactically Pearce's ploy, because in his last 16 game against David Jackson, the mark that he's now bowling is where he won that, if you remember, into the corner, the same corners. So perhaps he feels that, having had plenty of practice in the last 16, he can put Burrows under pressure on the same mark.
bowling from northeast down to the southwest corner here, and that's just wheeled away to the left with the bias to his disadvantage there, and an opening here for Burrows, I'm sure, as he looks to attack this from the other side, but again just too long.
A real push from that corner. Running this bowl of Pearce.
Literally following it, very much running after it, and well, it's satisfactory. No, I don't think any of them are satisfactory really. There's a chance of a winner here for Burrows, surely. Not easy to judge from corner to corner, one has to say, but that is most certainly the winner.
Excellent ball there from Noel Burrows.
And having made certain of one, the question is, might there be two?
It's not easy.
They're going to get the measure, so we know at least that it's 5 apiece, but it could be 6-5 to Burrows if he gets the benefit of the measure here, Mike.
Yes, and the measures, of course, will take the loose end to the bowl and the adjustable end to the jack. Noel Burrows, of course, has collected a lot of merit titles, if you like. He won the Derbyshire in 1992-96, the Greater Manchester in 1982-83, and the Lancashire Merit in 1968.
Do that one, please.
And his father won that in 1959, incidentally.
Burrows 2.
Well, it's Burrows 2. He's taken it, so that's
Get on your feet.
6-5 now to the twice former world champion, the twice former Waterloo champion. He beat Billy Brindle here in 1972, Jeff Telford in 2004, and he said to me, I won it when I was 28, I won it when I was 60, I probably will win it again 32 years later in when I'm 92.
And of course he'll become the only player ever win it more than twice, other than Brian Duncan.
Yes.
If he does win it.
Who incidentally has won it 5 times. That really is something. So, bowling a long parallel to the fence at the bookies end, the Waterloo end of the green, and Burrows, having taken that last end with 2 to go 6-5 up, is looking to bowl much shorter lead, much shorter than his opponent.
Noel's looking closely to see who's in.
Well, so
Burrows
yeah,
2.
Burrows says he fancied 2. He said, fancy 2 there, Rob, and 2 it was. So the second time in a row that he's picked up 2. He now goes 8-5 ahead, and he will stay down at that bookies end of the green. Fence full of bookies along there, and shouting the odds at the moment is Noel Burrows, 8-5 ahead.
Yeah, here we are greenside with the 2003 winner of the Waterloo, Gary Ellis, a man that knows Noel Burrows very, very well, as he got beat in the last round with Noel. Gary, how difficult is it playing this man?
It's very difficult. He hasn't really got a weakness, to be honest. You just got to try and play your own game, try and get him as near as you can yourself. He can play long, short, any game, and obviously he knows the green so well.
Yeah, is the betting at 1-4 at the start of this game, 9-4 Pearce, is that a fair reflection?
I think it is. He knows a lot more about the green. He's got a lot more experience of being in this position in the Waterloo. I think it's fair enough. You know, Rob has a chance of beating him, but Noel's definitely a big favourite.
As a man that was playing in that yesterday and got beat, who's going to win this game? Burrows or Pearce?
I think Burrows will win.
Wonderful try.
wonderful try, but one to Burrows nonetheless. And despite a great effort there from Rob Pearce, that Burrows has now won 5 in a row. He's turned 5-4 down to 9-5 ahead. And real daylight between himself and the Welshman, who incidentally beat Chris Hayes of Hyde, Rob Fitzpatrick of Wirral and Dave Jackson of Macclesfield to get here. 2:21.19 results, the middle one 21.17.
Another good bowl from Burrows here. Pearce will start to feel the pressure soon if he doesn't get in quickly. Oh, wonderful bowl.
Well, if he's feeling pressure, that certainly is an impressive way of showing it.
It is,
or
yes.
of responding to it.
And Burrows here will adopt a tactic in the flat green. He's got a receiving bowl at the back and he'll try and spring that jack towards it. That was the attempt, but just gone by.
Yes, it was never really going, was it?
No.
You could see that it was never really on course. And the weight was wrong anyway, so here we go. He's going to have to satisfy himself with one, methinks. But the important thing is he's got himself on the score sheet for the first time in 5 ends. And it's 9-6.
And lengthen the mark.
Burrows.
Welcome back to the Waterloo, where Noel Burrows leads Rob Pearce 9-6.
Waving this in. He believes this is short.
Well, we can see that it's short, and he won't be happy with that. So the man in blue, the shorter of the two men, who's delivered into that corner with superb accuracy in the early part of the contest, made it 2-1 and then 3-2 ahead with 2 superb individual bowls down into that corner.
Corrected it this time.
And getting a deserved round of applause. Fighting back here. 9-5 down at one stage, can make it 9-7 here, I think. Unless this looks to me as though it has something special about it, and that's going to provide, I think, our umpire with maybe a little bit of work. We'll wait and see what this... Burrows won. What a wonderful bowl again. For the 3rd time in this match, he's gone into that corner with a wonderful, wonderful winner, just like that.
It is definitely a superb shot, and makes you wonder now whether Pearce will go back into that corner again and again. Of course, Noel's shortened the mark now. He's obviously read the green and read the game, and he thinks he can gain an advantage bowling these short marks against the Welshman.
Yes, one of the qualities that he really does possess, and all the greats possess, is the ability to adapt the game according to length and according to conditions, and he's certainly revealing his prowess here today, although one has to say that Rob Pearce too has put in some great efforts, but he's trailing the great man at the moment, 10-6, and needs to do something about that pretty swiftly. Burrows almost halfway to a place in the semi-final.
He didn't like that second bowl there. He shook his head, but he's got away with it, John. He's got away with 2, I think.
Yes, and I think it evidence there, Mike, of Rob Pearce being short of confidence on the short.
That's right.
12-6.
Burrows has spotted what he believes is a weakness.
Has he just? He's gone parallel to the north stand. Again, back into the corner whence he came a few moments ago. And what a super first one, yes. And the crowd are warming to this, on not the warmest of early autumn days here. They're certainly warming to this, and Burrows giving us something of an exhibition at the moment.
And of course, the mark in Crown Green Bowls has to be 19 metres and more. No indication at the moment who's in there, although the crowd down that end applauded Pearce, which indicates they believe he shot.
Well, I think that first one of Burrows is the more likely winner, but it's never certain from a different angle, you see, until we
Pearce, one.
Well, it is Pearce one, so there we are. Well done, Pearce. 7-12. He's managed to get one back. And Elton Welsby.
Thank you very much indeed, John. I'm with Roy Armstrong, championship bowler in his own right, and a teammate of Noel Burrows as well at club level, Roy.
Yes, Noel plays at Sale Excelsior. He's been there for about 20 years, and I manage the team now on a Wednesday. And Noel is our great player there. All the players look up to him. All the young players look up to him. He's a perfect role model for any of the young players. We've got a boy of 19 coming next year, and I've told him to model himself on Noel Burrows in every shape and form in terms of his deportment, the way he concentrates and everything like that. So he's actually struggling a little bit this morning because he doesn't know this lad. He doesn't know Rob Pearce. He doesn't know where he's played, and he's trying him out on all different parts of the green. He'd prefer to play somebody that he knows.
Indeed, I mean, he's played the greats and beaten the greats over the best part of 40 years. It really is a phenomenal record, Roy. A winner here in 72, a winner here 2 years ago, 32 years in between winning Waterloos. Astonishing.
Oh yeah, he's an absolute class player, and even now, I mean, he works very, very hard. Sometimes I think he works a bit too hard, and unfortunately for the game, he only enters about 5 competitions a year. If he was to enter more competition like some of the top players, he'd be up there with them all in terms of prize money.
Well, another 2 for Burrows there, Roy. He's stretching a little bit here, 14-7. He doesn't look overly enamoured with what's going on, and yet his lead is significant now.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist. He's the games he's played up to now, he's thought he hasn't played the green particularly well. The green's had a lot of work done on it during the course of this year, and it's not reacting in the way that he knows over the last few years. So he's messing about. He's coming here finger peg now, round peg, bias towards the ditch, and I think he'll go back up this edge if he gets in.
Just a little bit too heavy on the lead bowl. We'll just see how Rob replies to this before we hand back to Mike and John. Obviously, the roll of the ball, Noel's is considerably, it's heavier bowl, presumably?
Yeah, Noel's one of the few players of the
beautiful bowl
in the top 32 who actually plays with ligniviter bowls. All of the players all play with composition bowls now, but these bowls are ligniviter bowls, and they do run that little bit better. So he has to be a bit careful, but played a short bowl there, which is not in his makeup. He'll be very, very annoyed about that.
Well, there we go, John, the man who knows Noel Burrows better than anyone else, Roy Armstrong.
Yes, absolutely, and something of a legend himself. And incidentally, on the occasion that Noel Burrows last played Rob Pearce, he won't remember because it's 23 years ago. It was in a pairs contest, and Rob Pearce and Bob Jones, who no longer plays at this level, played against Burrows and Armstrong. Anyway, 14-8 as Pearce takes that one and keeps himself in the contest, if you like, within 6 of the great man.
Important part of the match now. Again, Pearce has stretched Burrows out. Needs a good lead bowl here, and that's what it's all about, Crown Green bowls, leading to the jack. And this won't be last, John.
No, it's rolling up to it nicely, but stops rather suddenly there. But it's about half a metre short, isn't it? And that's not bad, actually, as Burrows looks to attack it. There you have one that's just run a little too far. Which one do you fancy there, Mike? I possibly fancy the first. but wouldn't want to put my life on it.
Red! What's that? Red!
The referee's indicated that Rob Pearce is in.
Yes, that's the one that I fancied. The other one of Burrows just ran on again an inch or two farther than he really wanted.
You heard Roy Armstrong say there that Knowles are a running pair of bowls.
Have to make a deliberate mistake.
They are,
Yeah.
but Noel controls them perfectly.
Got the crowd going anyway.
Yeah. Well, an opportunity then now for Burrows, who just walked a few metres down to have a closer look at the lie, and he knows exactly what he wants here.
Turn the bowl over this time. Going in the other peg.
Well, you could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to, as Mike says, take it by the other peg, bring it into the jack, but in the end it's 1 to Pearce. 49 the score now. Pearce just inching closer. 5 in it.
A dour battler, this Welshman.
You looked on from there, didn't you? I know.
Yes, he is, and well, he's pierced one or two players' hopes during the course of this week, namely Chris Hayes, Rob Fitzpatrick and Dave Jackson. He would like to pierce the ambitions of Noel Burrows, but he's got work to do if he does. 49, as I say, to the man who's a chef at Marple Golf Club, and I can assure you cooks a very nice meal. I was there last spring at a sporting dinner, Mike, and I can promise you the food's as good as his bowls.
Another good lead bowl by Pearce there. The crowd are shouting run away, and I think it might have done.
You won it. That's won it, the last one.
Yes, the second one's in the lead, namely that of Noel Burrows.
It's unlike snooker, John. The audience is participating here. The banter is terrific, and they'll soon let players know whether the bowl is a good or a bad one.
Oh, and he was really going for a strike there, wasn't he? That came with some venom, but I don't think it's made any impact other than that rather slight impact on the bowl.
Burrows coming for 2.
On the situation. Coming for 2, getting 2, and now 16-9 ahead.
Back on the same little mark again, Burrows.
Yes, coming beneath our vantage point, along parallel to the fence of the bookies end, the Waterloo pub end of the green, and that's a lovely first delivery, but is this going to be an equal second one? No. So Burrows again, just turning the screw a little here, just when it looked as though Pearce was beginning to get back into matters. Got to be a good one this now, this last one from Pearce.
It needs to be up. Narrow with the first ball, needs to correct it with this one.
Ah, you've got a good picture there of it, but it's going to land not only a little short, but also well wide. 1 to Burrows, and that makes it 17-9, and 4 away now from a place in the semi-finals of the Waterloo Championship 2006.
Is the quarter-final slipping away from the Welshman?
Well, it's there for Burrows to lose now, I feel. It's going to be a major shock if Pearce wins from here. It would have been a surprise, perhaps not so much a shock had he won from the outset, but from here, impossible I would have thought, although he won't consider that the case.
The expression on Burrows' face there after he delivered that ball showed that he thought he'd given Pearce chance. Pearce has taken it. But Burrows has corrected his first bowl again.
And that speaks for itself. No words could tell you more than that picture, with Burrows putting that right alongside the jack and saying to his opponent, the ball's in your court.
Somewhereabouts.
Oh, you could see what his intentions were, but it's Burrows 1, and now 4 ends since we saw Pearce add to his score, and Burrows looking now with 3 points wanted for victory. The likely winner.
Yes, Pearce himself at the moment needs to hold himself together, because Burrows is starting to get the weight on this mark. Another good lead.
Yes, and I would suspect a satisfactory first delivery from Burrows, as you can see there Rob Pearce trying to urge his on. That's an excellent response. You can't get better than that. Wonderful to watch. And when you think that he's been up against it latterly, as Burrows has turned the screw, gotta say that was a wonderful, wonderful effort from Pearce, who hasn't given up yet by any means.
And that ball of Burrows has probably prevented the youngster from getting 2, but he's gone off the short ball and got 2.
He's gotten the 2, no question about it. Well, that's only the second time he's had 2. He had 2 in the very first end of the match, and now in the 22nd end he gets 2 for the second time, and he closes the gap now to 18-11, but still a formidable one. But at least he's got the lead, Mike. 20 points to 9, of course. 9 in it, 1 wanted. Sorry, 18-11.
Luck favoured the brave there for Pearce, but he played for the shot and deserved to get it the way that second bowl came, John.
Yes.
A bit further this time. Waving the bowl on. I don't think that'll be good enough in that corner for Noel Burrows.
Well, they're bowling almost from the bar of the Waterloo pub. Well, not quite, but they're down in that corner where the pub is, and they're bowling right across the green. Pearce, as he did in the early part of the match, has taken the jack way across to that northwest corner, almost towards the tower, if you like, and thrown down the gauntlet.
And for those who've never been to the Waterloo, this green is 45 metres square, and it looks much bigger when you get here because of the enclosed stadium.
Well, there's an opportunity here for Noel Burrows to win the match with 1 superb delivery. We've seen him provide 2 or 3 here into this corner. Is this going to be the one that takes him into the quarter-final? It certainly begins to look like it.
Burrows 1.
And Burrows 1 is sufficient to take him now on to 19-11.
He's running now, Burrows. Feels confident. The question is, what does he do now? And my bet would he'll go the little straight peg mark along the bottom that he's used before, John.
Well, he's looking for victory now, isn't he? 2 needed for the man who's looking for his 3rd title here in Blackpool. And yes, you're right, Mike. He's gone parallel with the west stand down towards that southwest corner, but he's perhaps taken it, what, 30 metres?
Yes, easily. Not a good lead bowl there.
No, he's about a metre off, isn't he? And this one from Pearce looks to me as though it's going to edge it out. He's winning, the man in red at the moment, on this end. Oh,
brilliant.
That's crap between the two of them into pole position. But what can Pierce do about it here? Is Burrows going to go 20-11 ahead, or is Pierce going to deny it? That's a good effort. Burrows won. That's the 24th end of the match, and he's now leading by 20-11. And it's a case of when rather than if, I think we have to say. Probably that's been the case for some time.
Yes, his odds were 5-2 before this quarter-final. They will have shortened after the crowd watching him, John. Could be known as the Mozart of Crown Green Bowls, Noel Burrows. He's playing like a symphony orchestra.
Well, 24 ends, and Burrows has won 15 of them. And 5 of them by 2. So he's got this healthy lead now and wants one more for victory.
Again, difficult to see who's in.
Well, this one's going to threaten, isn't it? Or it's not quite got the legs. I think he's disappointed, quite rightly, because he certainly got the line right there. It was running nicely. Suddenly decided to call it a day. And
yes, sometimes body language in this game tells you everything, John, and Noel's body language there said that he thought he was short. Oh, he's got the one.
It's sufficient. It was a great effort that by Rob Pierce to deny him, but a handshake there. Burrows going through to the semi-finals.
Well, a good start to this year's Waterloo. Well done, Noel. Commiserations, Rob. I mean, but you were playing the El Master today.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't give Noel any room at all. He'll destroy you. So disappointed really, but didn't lead a bowl.
But did you enjoy the experience of your first Waterloo finals day?
Oh, absolutely. And playing someone like Noel, he doesn't get any better really.
Well, don't forget him this far anyway, and we do hope to see you again. Noel, although you won, you didn't look entirely comfortable.
Well, early on in the game, they marked us a favour. Just wasn't getting the weight right, and I thought it's time for plan B, and that came off for me. Rob just struggled a little bit on the edges, getting the pace. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. I mean, we can all put them on the road, but it's getting the pace right.
Even for someone of your vast experience, when you're playing someone that you don't know too much about with respect to Rob, is that more difficult than, say, somebody that you play regularly in major tournaments?
Well, sometimes, but I mean, I did make some inquiries. I did my homework before we went on today, just to find what sort of marks he'd been playing, and, you know, you need to know these things.
Well, we'll see you in the semi-finals. Noel, thanks very much indeed. As I say, Rob, hope to see you again.
I'll be back.
Good luck. Cheers. So well done again to Noel Burrows, the first man through to the semi-finals of the 2006 Waterloo. Next time you'll be able to see Tommy Johnston, winner here in 1985 against Terry Cutting, who's making his debut on finals day. Then Graeme Wilson, the world's #1 Crown Green bowler, will play Andrew Moss, and in the final quarter-final it's Billy Farrell against Lee Heaton, who won here in 1996, 10 years ago. So until the next time, it's goodbye from all of us here. Ta-da. Right, well, this is nothing new for Tommy, but as far as you're concerned, Terry, your first time in the quarter-finals here?
Absolutely, yes. Thrilled to be here, actually.
Thrilled, but maybe nervous as well?
Try not to be, but we'll give it a good go.
I suppose in your case, Tommy, it's yet another match at the Waterloo on this famous green, and yet another Waterloo.
Well, I'll just give it the best shot, and hopefully we're playing well today, yeah.
Have you been playing well in the recent matches here?
It's a bit patchy really, to be honest with you, so hopefully it's to be an on day. So
we'll see what happens. If you'd like to call Terry, it is in fact heads, so Tommy with the block. And for all of you at home, the commentators are Mike Leach and John Gwynn.
Thank you very much, Elton. And so it's going to be Tommy Johnston, the man in red from Warrington, originally from Withington in South Manchester, and won't be over happy with wearing red. He's a big Manchester City supporter. But joking apart, Mike Leach, he is a player of proven quality. He admits to being at this stage in the competition, perhaps with a little bit of good fortune. His game's been up and down, but the main thing is he's here.
Yeah, well, you can't win a big tournament without having some luck on the way, and Tommy's had his big slice of luck in the round of the last 16 where he scraped through 21-20. So he'll be confident now that he's here. Whereas Terry Cutting, who's putting in a very, very, very good shot there, the 43-year-old from Northampton, sending a message out to this 46-year-old that it's very much game on. And what a start to this match. You couldn't ask for a more accurate start from two players than we're getting there, and we know that it's going to be one to Cutting, and he has, of course, the right here not to deliver the second one, but he is delivering this. He's certainly got one blue ahead. Is he going to follow it up with the second? Oh, Mike Leach, that is some stuff, isn't it? What a fantastic start by Cutting.
Well, that's a marvellous start for him.
Yeah.
And that will really calm his nerves, because that was important for him, how he started the game, whether or not the crowd got on his back, if he wasn't playing very well, and that's just a wonderful two. And that could be the best thing that's happened to this game.
This game here, Bill, Johnson Cutting, how do you bet the start of this game?
I bet Tommy Johnston, a big favourite, 1-4, and I bet 2-1 Cutting on the heat.
1-4 Johnson, that's a really short price. Does that really reflect out the money or your...
It reflects his ability plus the amount of money that he's been back to win it. And can't get Cutting in at all.
Nobody wants Cutting whatsoever at any price?
At any price.
And Johnson, is he a lot of money for Johnson to win it outright?
There is. And I'm just hoping Mr. Cutting wins for me.
It's a good result for you, Cutting winning?
It certainly is.
Bill wants Cutting. The crowd want Johnson, who wins.
Now he's from Northampton, but he tells me, and I know for a fact, that they don't play Crown Green Bowls in Northampton, but he does manage to play quite a bit. Obviously, that's why he's here.
Well, he obviously does some travelling, even for his local league matches, but he's a very good player, and he's played very well every round.
Now, having won that first end, I see that he's bowling a much, much shorter delivery here than did Johnston, and that's his ploy, is it? That's going to be the ploy of Terry Cutting, who actually plays at the Copsewood Club in Coventry, so he says he travels about 35 miles to play his local league bowls.
Well, he'll know that Tommy would normally play 40 to 45 yards, so he's trying short lengths first of all to see if he can just get some. Tommy's playing through now. He's playing a reacher here, hoping to make two off this, but he's done the gap.
Yes, you could hear the roar from the crowd there as that one went through that gap. And what a good start this then from Terry Cutting. He's 3-0 up. It's early days yet, I know, but he'll be happy with that start, the man in blue, won't he?
Well, it's a great start, because the great thing about his start is he's played 4 length bowls, so he's picked the length of the green out straight away, and he is keeping it short now. This is the sort of length that he and Kevin Wainwright played in their round, 23, 24 yards maximum. He's just overplayed it.
Yes, 19 metres is the minimum that they can bowl, isn't it? So he's probably about 3 or 4 metres longer than that. And
but it's quick there. The green's running quickly just over that stretch, and they've both just overplayed. Now he needs to compensate now. It's not a difficult mark, it's just a pace mark.
Well,
he's much better.
Confidently behind it, and with good reason. That's certainly winning.
This has a chance. Just overplayed, but if it hits the block, it might not be in. Yeah, the jack fell back to Tommy's bowl.
Oh, maybe that's a sign of a touch of fortune, because he did it. Rolled towards the jack and turned over towards the jack. So 3-1 it is now, and Tommy Johnston on the board for the first time in this match. An all-important little bit of fortune, perhaps.
Yep, just getting himself started. And it's early, as you say, John, it's early days, but it just has the makings, this, of a good game. Tommy's not led as well as he'd normally do. Thumb peg, 43 yards probably. And this is overreached as well.
Yes.
Might not win it unless it rests. Don't know.
Well, it's just gone beyond, so at the moment it's still the red one of Tommy Johnston that's winning, but it doesn't quite deserve to be a winner, perhaps. This second one of his certainly looks as though it's the more likely winner, nudging the jack a little to the left, but he'll be happy with that, surely.
He will, he'll fancy counting that. This is not without a chance.
It isn't. It's got a great chance. Oh, it's just got enough. Possibly, and at this time, the tilt goes in his favour. 1 to Cutting there. And he goes 4-1 ahead. This is really a very competitive match already. Only 4 ends into it. But we've seen some fantastic play here, Mike.
This is good play. That was a big bowl. He wouldn't have been a disaster if he hadn't won the end, but he couldn't risk leaving Tommy 2 there. Now he's playing back to the middle of the green just to keep Tommy restricted in where he can go if Tommy gets in. And he's led one.
This is the part of the green, almost an identical part of the green, where Tommy had that good fortune in his last round game against Paul Chamberlain. He was losing there 18-13, 20-18, and he won 21-20, and it was just here where he got an important strike that went his way.
It was almost a miracle strike, really, because he wasn't striking to count the end, he was striking to clear the end, and he's finished up counting 2.
Absolutely, it was unbelievable to see. But this is another very, very good end. And they're all bowling extremely short, both of them here. Look at all 3 deliveries there are highly acceptable. It's going to take a very, very good one here from Johnston to win it with this red.
He's given it up. He's given it up looking at it.
And well, he might. It's going to be 1 there to Cutting. He's now 5-1 ahead after just 5 ends. Cause for concern at this stage for Tommy Johnston, or is his experience such that he won't yet start getting concerned?
Well, he'll be concerned. He won't be panicking, but he'll be concerned. Nobody likes to go too far behind. You like to keep yourself in touch with the other player. Now he's gone as short as he dare now. Again, 19 metres minimum. This is just probably 21, 22 metres again.
Well, you say 19 metres minimum, Mike. What happens if, in the referee's opinion, it's less than that? Do they actually measure? Or?
Yes, they do measure. It's not the referee. Funnily enough, it's one of those decisions. It's not up to the referee. It's up to your opponent. The referee can't object to the length you play. If your opponent objects, he has to object after you've sent a bowl. And if it's not a mark, the man who set the mark or didn't set it loses it. Loses a jack. He lies in with 2 again.
Yes.
This is important now.
The much-travelled Terry Cutting lives in Northampton. Gave the game up for a couple of years. Tommy Johnston's never given the game. No, it doesn't look as though it's good enough. And well, Tommy Johnston really hasn't got into this. He won the 3rd end with 1, but all the other ends have gone Cutting's way, and he's already now 7-1 ahead.
We're in Blackpool for the 2006 Waterloo Championships. Former champion Tommy Johnston is really up against it. He's now 9-1 down to rank outsider Terry Cutting.
He's a purchasing manager for a baking ingredients company. Well, he's looking good here for the dough. And a place in the semi-final, although never write a player of Tommy Johnston's experience off.
Just going to die short.
That would normally be a good one, of course, but in contrast to the initial delivery of Cutting, it isn't good enough.
No, without that first ball, the Tommy's is a good ball, but the trouble is now that he's little to play at. They're in the way, balking him. He can't risk playing through in case he takes his own out. He's nearly got another here. Just the one. Now, Tommy will be looking at this.
Yes, our pictures clearly see that.
You see him shaking his head there. He's going to have a look to see how much room he's got. It's very hard for him to decide what bowl to play here.
And if you were given the choice here, Mike, because you played in this tournament, you qualified for this tournament on numerous occasions. You think he's going to drive?
Yes, he's playing through. I think he's turned his peg to play through.
Now that's put the cat among the proverbial pigeons, but
he's still one down.
Well, 1-10 the score in Cutting's favour, and the only end Tommy Johnston has won so far is the third.
Three familiar faces here, all teammates of Tommy's at Tetley Walker: Kevin Wainwright, Carl Armitage and Charlie Bevington. Are you all on this man?
Yes, definitely are, yeah.
Carl, he's behind at the moment. Can he come back?
Yes, definitely, yes. He's a different grade Tommy, top class. He'll get back in this game, no doubt.
What to do at the start of this game? He was 1-4 Johnson, bet 2-1 Cutting. Yeah. Did you take any of that 1-4, Charlie?
No, I didn't. I'm afraid to say, Keith, but I still think that he's got a good chance here today. You know, he's 10-1 down now, but Tommy can always come back on this green. A lot of experience, and I think he's just going to wait for his chance with a jack. Once he gets the jack, I think you'll see a different game.
Kevin, history's against him winning both. Nobody's ever won them both in the same year. If any man can do it, is it Tommy?
Definitely, he's one of the top players in the game, and if anybody can do it, it'll be Tommy, without a shadow of a doubt.
Got to take advantage of the fact that Cutting is a metre short of the jack, and it's on its way. It's got what it takes. Has it just? That is a good bowl, and he's going to take some beating. The man 10-1 ahead, you see here in blue, tall, lean, walking behind the bowl as he tries to find a way through. Well, at least Johnston knows he's won in here, and what are the chances of a second, Mike Leach?
Good chances. I expect him to get two.
A sign, perhaps, that the tide might be beginning to turn?
Well, we know where he won't be going. He won't be going back where they've just been for the last 15 minutes. He's going for the corners.
Yes, he's taken this some 35 metres across towards the northeast corner of the green, and it's
going to be a yard off.
Well, maybe so, but a challenge nevertheless for Terry Cutting, who's incidentally got 3 children: Stacey 15, Laura 12, Bradley 9, has had his first set of bowls this year, so maybe we'll see Bradley Cutting at the Waterloo in years to come, who knows. He'll be watching Dad here anyway, as he's rather too short there. I think the red one is probably ahead of the two, but
is Tommy any further with this? Is he any further?
That's the question. He thinks it's a little bit further in. No, it stopped suddenly, and a great chance for Cutting here.
Big chance here. Seems to have delivered it well. Certainly the length is he going to reach? Can he get through? Those are the questions. Yes to both.
Well, he raises his arm almost jubilantly. He's actually saying to the scorer, 1 to me, No real jubilation in that, though I'm no doubt he feels it, because that was a good last ball, wasn't it? The gate was there, left open, and he took advantage.
He did, but if he hadn't beaten, if Tommy did lie in 2 there and he'd left them, it would have been 5-10. 11-3 is a big difference. He's going back to the middle, keep Tommy tied down, messing him around the middle of the green.
Well, Terry Cutting was saying that Tommy, having knocked out his best mate Paul Chamberlain, a big mate of Paul Chamberlain, who Tommy took out in the previous round, said, I've got to get my own back and get a bit of revenge.
He is doing.
With a wry smile on his face. Oh, he's just nudged that jack perhaps a little closer to the blue, and now we're going to have another assessment. Indeed, the blue is on here, so Cutting looking to add to that.
See what he plays at this, because there's still danger, but he's played a good bowl. He's made another. That's a fantastic bowl,
isn't it?
Now Tommy will play through at these, certain to play through at these.
Well, he's got a big enough target, 2 blues and the red there surrounding.
Likes it.
Oh, he's taken it as well. That's great stuff, Mike. You read it absolutely perfectly.
Wonderful ball. Yeah, just the makings of a smile there from Tommy at last. He's not had much to smile about this game, but that was a good ball because he took the jack clean. It didn't matter if he took the woods out, he could still count. So it was a perfectly executed ball.
Yes, we're back here with Bill Forber. At the start of this game, it was 1-4 Johnston, 2-1 Cutting. The score now at 11-4 to Cutting. Have we bet now, Bill?
Well, Tommy, now he can get 5-2 Johnston to win this heat, and Cutting is now a 1-4 chance.
A complete reversal due to the score here.
Yes, thank Kevin.
Has there still been, thank Kevin, to getting you out of the jail here, has there been any money for Cutting now?
No.
Still no money. Tell us something, Bill. Tommy's going through a unique thing here, trying to win both the Spring Waterloo and the Autumn Waterloo in the same season. Never been done before, even with the great Brian Duncan. Start of the campaign, what would the odds of that have been to win both in 1 year?
Well, for Tommy, with being such an ability player, I think the odds would be approximately 650 to 1 to win them both.
So even a man of Johnston's ability, 4-man on the green, 651 to do the double.
Yes.
Massive odds to do it. There's only one man can do it, Johnston. He's behind here. He's got a game on his hands to stay in it.
If he's going to win this game, Tommy, he's got to string 2 or 3 very good ends together to get back in the match. It's a fairly hard to beat on that mark. 40-45 yards, thumb peg, little margin for error.
Our picture there really does show the distance, Mike. It really does have a huge distance to travel, and they're not even over in the corner.
No.
They're a good 10 metres in from the corner, really.
And he's caught Terry out there with the distance. Terry's a good 3 yards short. Now Tommy's better now. Counts another.
Well, he's had those 2 strikes that have been to his advantage. I know one of them was a dead end, but that's got to give him some increase in confidence.
Certainly has. Now Terry's left this as well, short again. The crowd are condemning it already.
Yes, they're good judges, aren't they, the crowd here? They know this green perhaps as well as the players, and many of them are players anyway. So once we've got the final, it's 2 to Johnston, I think. Yeah, 2 to Johnston, so he's creeping back. 11-6 in Cutting's favour, but that's the second time that Johnston has taken 2 in the last 4 of 4 scoring ends.
Well, his 2 strikes have been critical to keeping his momentum going, keeping the jack in his hand.
And now he'll come back down into this southeast corner, down towards the Waterloo pub.
He's left it. This is probably Tommy's favourite mark on the green, and that, by his standards, is a very poor lead. He'll expect Terry to beat this, and he has done.
Now, Mike Leach has got the benefit of being able to see that ball before we can on our screen. Just looking over onto the green, which gives us something of an advantage. And yes, that was a good effort as Tommy Johnston just silently urging this red one on. It's coming in. It's a good one. That's a very good one. Turns over nicely. It's the winner so far.
Again, you can see he's pleased with that. He needed to beat that. He lies now to be 7-11 if he counts that, but Terry can play through at it. He can afford to reach at it. And he has done. He likes it. He's looking at it. Just too wide, I think.
Johnston
One to Johnston. It's now 11-7.
Welcome back. Terry Cutting's added another shot and now leads Tommy 12-7 in this second quarter final.
He's wafting at it. It's well short. Tommy will beat that. Nothing more certain.
Well, the Mancunian who lives in Warrington these days, Tommy Johnston, has certainly offered a challenge here to Terry Cutting. Johnston very much wants to be leading again with the jack.
Good line. Can it get past? Yes.
Oh, it's got past all right. Good question to ask and answered there by Cutting. Beautiful effort and work now to do for the man in red.
Well, can he get past?
It's the same question and the answer's exactly the same. You have just seen the very best in Waterloo bowls from both men, but Tommy Johnston takes it. What an end, Mike Leach.
Well, that's a magnificent bowl to scrape past both those. Just a perfect length. He couldn't win playing through. He had to play a perfect length and risk being short. Fantastic bowl, that.
And the difference between being 12-8 down and 13-7 down, it keeps him just in touch, doesn't it?
It does. He's gonna
having the lead here as well with the jack.
Needs to make a really good lead now. He's having to work very hard this game to stay in touch with Terry Cutting. Well, it's a good lead. It's not perfect, but it's a very good lead.
Terry Cutting, to reach this stage, beat Dave Shepherd from Solihull 21-14, Kevin Wainwright from Warrington 21-11, and Glyn Storer from Cannock 21-18. And he's 12-8 up here. Wouldn't like to say which one's closer there. Well, actually, it's surely the blue one, isn't it?
Not necessarily. But you're right, John.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Well tipped.
And
well, does he reach with it?
I don't think so.
Does he reach with it?
I don't think so. It's just going to stop. It needed another, 8 inches, 10 inches.
Yep.
So it's blue leading and with a chance for 2 here, which would make it 14-8 if he gets it. But I don't think he's going to go. No, he's gone wide there, Mike, hasn't he?
Well, he'd be conscious of the danger of knocking Tommy's short bowl in. Tommy's having a look at that.
He is.
But I think he's going to give one.
It was only a cursory look, I think. Yeah. We know that one's in. Yes, one in then. So 13-8 to Cutting. And Cutting away here across the green, I feel, way down towards the Waterloo corner. Actually, he's only going to go 2/3 across, maybe 30-35 metres.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give Tommy the opportunity to get straight in the corners. If Tommy wants to play corners, he's going to have to win 2 ends together.
Yes.
So, the legendary Brian Duncan is now with Elton Wellesby.
Thanks, John. Brian, for Tommy to get back into this match good and proper, he's got to lead well into the corners, hasn't he?
Well, that's right. He's struggling. He's been struggling all the game, Tommy, but now he's just settling down a bit more, but he's just not leading the corners, and that's where he's going to win the game, in the corners, if you can just make a lead.
Terry, in fairness, has been playing these short marks, and he's been leading well himself, and hence the score, 13-8.
Well, early on he's played very exceptionally well, really, but Terry now has just gone off a bit, and like his 2 balls here, which 4 or 5 feet past the jack. Tommy's certain to get another one, and if he makes the lead now, he's back in it. Right,
so he's won the end. We think it's going to be 2. Yes, he's coupled up there, Brian, so that reduces the deficit to 13-10. Now, where should Tommy be going now? Because, yes, he'll be going into a corner, but which one?
I think he might come into the left-hand corner down here, because he's been down in the other corner twice, hasn't counted, so I think he'll make a move in the other corner.
Well, that's precisely what he's doing.
Yeah, well, he's just got to change the game, really. I mean, he's gone down to the corner twice, made 2 bad leads, so he's just got to try something different. It's crucial he makes a lead, really. If he makes a lead, he's back in it.
Just before we go back to John Gwynn, a word from the previous game. Noel Burrows, your old adversary, looking in good fettle.
Noel has played the best since Saturday, really, been more consistent, and obviously one of the veterans of the game, so he's probably not played quite as well today, but he's done enough to get through.
Back to you, John. Thanks, Brian.
Well, thank you very much, Elton. And Brian Duncan, 5 times a Waterloo winner, is, as I say, one of the great legends. And one of these 2 would like to win it this year. Tommy Johnston, 21 years ago since he was champion. And Terry Cutting, who's about to deliver down towards the southwest corner of the green. Well short there, is he, Mike?
Yep. Well, as usual from Brian, a shrewd assessment of what Tommy needed to do, and he's been absolutely right. It wasn't a brilliant lead, but the pressure's just got to Terry with that second bowl. He had a bit of room. If he'd got in there with his second bowl, it'd have been 14-10 up. As it is now, it's 12-13.
And now I'm perhaps justified in saying we have had a sea change. It was 11-1. At that stage, we needed a definite turnaround, and the score tells you we've had one. 13-12 now to the man in blue. He was 11-1 up, and Tommy Johnston has made his experience tell, hasn't he? And how? That's what he wanted. The lead from one corner down into another. He's got that long lead in terms of leading the jack. He now wants a lead in terms of the score on the scoreboard. Trailing by 1 still.
Well, he's close. Hits the jack, he won't win.
Oh, he's hit the
wrong.
jack the wrong way. But that can happen, of course. Bowling length, 40 metres from almost from one corner to the other. Maybe more, maybe 45, as he's short there. But he's certainly got one in at the moment, Mike Leach, and this has got to be an exceptional bowl from Cutting. One of the best in this match. We have had some superb ends, but he's going to strike. He's going to strike. So get ready for action, folks. Some of you like this, I know. When the man delivering the ball really puts weight behind it, and Mike Leach can see that he's missed it from a long way out, because it was always along the wrong line. And Johnston won. 13 across. 13 across. Now, 11-1 down, 13 apiece. You've got to favour the man now who's pulled back.
To the Waterloo, where Terry Cutting now leads 16-15.
Just to remind you, a place in the semi-final of the Waterloo Championship at stake, and Tommy Johnston with the jack here and trying to run his first bowl onto it, but
It's a couple of feet short.
Not as close as it looked there.
A couple of feet short, and Cutting hoping to maintain this lead. 16-15 the advantage, as you can see.
Far
But
enough.
too close to call a winner of this contest at the moment.
That's just won it, we think.
I'll just sit on the fence with this one, Mike.
Tommy's
at
reached.
the moment, because
There's
this
a
is a
jack
good
in the
one.
way.
That's a beautiful one. Now I won't sit on the fence. Johnston ahead here. That's the reason why.
That's a great ball. Now you can see what Cutting has to do there. He has to find a way. I think he should change his peg, go finger. If he runs the jack, he makes two. If he takes Tommy's bowl, he'll still count the end. But he's
When you say if he runs the jack, you mean if he hits it and runs on and follows it on?
well, he's close. But that was the danger.
But he may have done himself a favour there. Has he taken one out?
I don't think Tommy lay in with two, but
No.
it's certainly only one to Tommy.
Yes.
16 all.
Johnson won.
Well, there we are then, 16 apiece. And Johnston's taken the last two ends with one, so he'll be leading again. And where we can expect him here to lead from way down in this Waterloo corner, just beneath us, way across towards the far side. Although it's not gone as long as I thought he might have sent it, Mike Leach.
No, well, as Brian Duncan pointed out earlier, the couple of times he's gone deeper, he's not got in there. So he's just shortened the length by about 5 or 6 yards, hoping to find a perfect lead. He's reached.
Yes, he's reached, and
that's a big hit.
He's made contact. He's when you look at the length of the lead, that actually is very, very accurate, isn't it? It's not a million miles away, but this one
This is
hasn't
over
got
the
it.
top.
No, way short, and well, not so much way short, but wrong line.
Over the bar, as we say. Well, Johnston now lies to be 18-16 ahead.
And showing his quality here. He's a man with a mission. Well, they all are, I know, but
this is the biggest bowl of this game so far coming up. If he beats them, and it looks like he's going to, he's... No wonder the crowd applaud that. That's a magnificent ball under enormous pressure.
well, you've got to say of Terry Cutting that he is a man inspired. That really was, as Mike Leach said, the most vital bowl of the match so far, and it keeps him 17-16 ahead. But as you can see, more importantly, even than the score, he has control. He has the yellow jack in his hand,
but he doesn't know where to send
Look how pensive he is. He knows it's so vital, this match. It's crucial now, having won that end with a quite brilliant piece of accuracy.
Well,
so vital that he takes advantage of it.
He's agonised about where to go here. I think he's right. His tactics have been right. He doesn't need to change them now. There's been nothing wrong with his tactical game. All he needs to do is lead like he did in the early part of the game, and he's led a good ball there.
That is a good one, yes. It's going to take a good one to beat it, isn't it?
And has Tommy reached it? Can he pass it? No.
Not quite. Good effort, but...
Wry smile from Tommy there as he runs into the back of it.
Well, when he was 11-1 down, he'd have settled for 17-16 down, that is for certain.
He would.
But Cutting just in the last few minutes has demonstrated that he's got what it takes to finish this job off. Not there with that one, and that really does give Tommy Johnston an opportunity. Is he going to change peg here? Surely he has to, doesn't he?
He's not going to, no. I think he's hoping to make... Well, it looks tight. He's nearly knocked him another. He's done his best to knock him too.
Well, he might have done.
They're looking at it.
Yeah, they're looking at it. He may not have done in the end, looking at those pictures.
One.
Yeah, one.
Cutting
for
one.
cutting. 16-18 in his favour. And he's won the last two ends. But you've got to say, Mike, that 29th end, when Cutting produced that quite remarkable delivery, that alone perhaps deserves to be a match winner.
Well,
and I know that it isn't, but it might pave the way.
It could prove to have been, because Tommy later go 18-16 ahead himself. For the first time in the game he'd have been ahead.
Well, this is the 31st end. It's the 30th scoring end. We had one dead end, the 13th, and
far enough, Tommy. Crowd are hooting. Has he hit anything?
yes, he's hit Cutting's first ball, and Cutting's second ball, as you can see, about to be delivered. This vital stage in what has been an invigorating contest.
This is a good ball after what's just happened to him. It's a good ball, he's just won it. Tommy was sailing through with his first, he'll sail through with his second again. He's going for two now, he's playing for the ball for two.
Well, he's got one after that one.
What an end. Had everything, that end.
It did, didn't it? And it's 18-17 to Cutting, as Tommy Johnston, who had a couple of strikes earlier, didn't he, drove very earlier in the contest. In fact, it was that which got him back in the match, or got him on the score sheet, if you remember, Mike, when he was trailing 11-3. He had a couple of fortunate drives, and it got him going, so to speak. And at 17-18 down, but with the lead here, with the jack in his favour, who's your money going on from here? Go on, I'm going to try and put you in the corner.
Thanks very much. You'd have to say Johnston, but it's a close call now. He's led one, I think. 2 foot.
Yes. Well, he's about a yard and a half in from the edge of the green, down by the Waterloo, and the bookies down in that corner. And
just going to be short, I think.
Yes, not quite got the legs, has it?
Now again, Tommy can lie to go ahead here. If he lies, he must get another. Has he reached? The shouting run away. It'll run a bit now, it's a bit quicker there. He lies to be 19-18.
He lies to be 19-18, but we've seen recently, a couple of ends ago, Cutting spoil things for him by producing a wonderful last ball.
He's played one here.
And it looks as though he's done it again. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. And even Tommy Johnston, I'm sure, will be saying that is something very, very special. He'll be thinking it anyway. Cutting, running after his delivery there, urging it on, and it responds. What a great ball. Reminiscent of the one a couple of ends ago, Mike.
Exactly the same situation, really. 2 down, had to play a length, couldn't play through, had to find a length, and twice he's pulled out the most important bowls. This is a great game.
It is a great game. I must say I'm enjoying it. I'm sure you're enjoying it at home. Tommy Johnston, Terry Cutting, giving us a wonderful contest, but Cutting just 2 away now. Well, we've got young people here as well as our generation, Mike. Well, it's all relative, they say. But there are some younger people in the crowd here, I know.
Strange, really, because there's a lot of young people playing, but you always get more than your fair share of the older generation watching?
Well, they're all at work, that's why, mate.
Well, what's he done here? Does this win it? Yes. Now, Tommy, what do we do now? He's thinking about it. He doesn't know whether to play through. If he plays through and runs a jack, he'll make 2. He's really doesn't know what to do.
Well, we've seen so many times in this match.
Gap.
Oh, he's gone through the gap. Yes, he was looking to run that yellow on. We've seen so many times in this contest, though, where the player on the mat is having to think long and hard about what he's going to do.
Well, you'd call that a brave bowl. It had a certain element of desperation about it. He could have played to beat that bowl. There was nothing in his way, but he just wanted to try and either take the wood out.
Well, it's 17-20 now. Terry Cutting is 20-17 ahead, and he's bowling here, wanting 1 for the match. So, not surprisingly, Mike Leach, he's gone to just about his favourite part of the green.
But he's not led one. No.
Well, it's not that bad. It's you're the expert, I admit, but it's not a bad first one.
He's led one now because Tommy's not beaten it.
Well, his
pressure.
He went weak in the arm then.
Pressure.
That's what pressure does, yes. So, Cutting, knowing that he's so close now to beating former champion Tommy Johnston here in the Waterloo quarter-finals.
Better now.
He's going through for another good one. Now, Tommy Johnston has got to produce one of the best bowls of his career.
He doesn't know which peg to play. They're in his way, the finger peg that the jack's gone. He may change his peg and go thumb.
I think he has done. No?
Yep.
He has done. And he's
Pace
following
right.
it on. You're right, the pace is right. Has it gone too far? It's gone fractionally too far. It's all over. Tommy Johnston did his best there to stay in this contest, but he's never been in the lead at all. And it's the man in blue, the 43-year-old Terry Cutting from Northampton, who moves into the semi-finals 21-17.
Thanks very much.
So Terry Cutter it is who goes through to the first semi-final here at the Waterloo 2006, where he'll play Noel Burrows. Another easy match for you, Terry.
I don't think it'll be an easy game. The last one certainly wasn't an easy game. It went both ways. Could have gone either way.
Tommy, it was an extraordinary match actually, because you were 11-1 down at one point. You got into the corners, you got to 13 across, but then you couldn't lead into the corners. It was strange to watch.
Sometimes at this game you have to give your opponent full credit, and the first 20 minutes of that game it was unbelievable really, and I tried my utmost to peg him back, but in the end it was just a bit too good really.
Yes, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from your game. You were, in fact, as Tommy said, deadly to start with. You were just hitting the block, leading brilliantly.
I can't disagree with that. It's just one of those things where you hit a line pace and get away to a good start, and that's all I wanted. But always frightened of the comeback.
One quick word, Tommy. Unlucky in defeat. But the corners, are they difficult to reach today? Is the green a bit sluggish or what?
It's a little bit difficult to play the green today. It's a bit gusts of the wind, you know, it's a bit difficult with gusts of wind, and it's a little bit tricky today, no doubt.
So maybe the short mark player has got the advantage?
We'll have to see.
Very cagey. We'll see you in the semi-finals, Terry, and well done on your debut on finals day.
Thank you.
So this is how things are lining up here at the Waterloo. The first semi-final has been confirmed. It's Noel Burrows against Terry Cutting. Still 2 more quarterfinals to come, of course. Graeme Wilson, the game's number 1, against Andrew Moss, and then Billy Farrell against Lee Heaton, a previous winner. Lee won here back in 1996. I'd like to just stand just over here for us. Graeme, first of all, I mean, you've won so many tournaments over the past few years, but this one's always eluded you. Why?
No idea. Hopefully put that right today.
Hopefully you will. Andy, as far as you're concerned, I mean, first and foremost, is that a lucky sweater or are you cold?
It seems to be this week anyway, yes. I've worn it every day, so why change?
Okay, what's your first impressions like of finals day here?
It's very different. Obviously there's a lot of people, a lot of atmosphere, and I like it, hopefully anyway.
One word on the green, Graeme. I don't think you've been the greatest fan of it down the years. Is it more to your liking this year?
It's in not too bad condition. It was very bad at the beginning of this season, but it seems to be coming around a bit now, so yeah, it's a little bit better.
And a little bit heavy, a little bit sluggish. Have you found that in practice?
Yeah, it was heavy yesterday with the overnight rain. It perhaps seems a little bit quicker today, so we'll see, won't we?
We will see what we will see. Here comes the toss. Andy, do you want to shout for me?
Tails, please.
Tails is the shout, and tails it is, so presumably you'll take the block. And our commentators for all you at home, Mike Wakeland and John Gwynn.
Yes, thank you very much, Elton. And the toss won, therefore, by Andrew Moss, 32-year-old from near Alsager in Cheshire, although he does actually bowl in Shropshire at Whitchurch at the Chester Road Club. And he's a dairy farmer, has 300 head of cattle, takes off his top, he's the man in blue, and it is warming up a little bit. We've had two superb games already, Mike Wakeland, in this contest, and I don't see this one being any different at all. We've got two quality players.
Definitely, and in Graeme Wilson, of course, you heard Elton refer to the number one. That's an opinion, but it's an opinion shared by many in the game when you look at this man's remarkable record. But I am also pretty sure that he would forego the prize money to win this title.
Yes, but it's the man in blue who's led off, Andrew Moss, as I say, 32 years of age, and this man in red, Graeme Wilson, just 2 years his senior, lives in Oldham with his wife Kathy and their kids Danny and Amelia. Danny 16, Amelia 3.5, but he is through and through a Yorkshireman, as this man from Cheshire but bowls in Shropshire looks to make an early impression on this match, and that's a much improved second bowl to the initial one he delivered.
Wilson won't be short, but he's offline. First blood to the Shropshireman.
Moss 2. As the Wilson-Moss quarter-final gets underway here, we're here with Yorkshire-based bookmaker Graham Hurst, who's actually a teammate of Graeme Wilson's at Lower Hopton. Graham, how do you bet on this game here as they start off?
On this game we bet Graeme Wilson 2-7 and Andrew Moss 2-1.
So 2-7 Wilson.
2-7 Wilson, big favourite, as per usual.
As per usual. That's what I wanted to say. Graham's always the favourite here, even though he's never won it. 3 former winners in the last 8 this week. Why is Wilson always the man that they come for?
Well, I don't know. He's won so many other competitions. I think all the people think that he will definitely win the Waterloo.
One day?
Yeah, 1 year. It's like Duncan says, my man here. What price would you have if he doesn't win it in the next 5 years?
Good question. What price would he be?
Very short.
Very short. One thing we just want to know is, this must be hard for you. Graham's a great close friend of yours. You've seen him grow up over the years. You obviously want him to win it. How do you balance that with you? Don't want to get fleeced here by all the punters.
Initially, I used to back Graeme Wilson, when he was a young lad and coming through the ranks, and I knew it, he was going to be a really good player before a lot of the other bookmakers. So I used to back him myself or keep him short than the other bookies, and I could still win money that way. But now Graeme Wilson's that popular that we can't keep him for ourselves even.
One question, can he win it?
Definitely.
This man, Graeme Wilson, has beaten Martin Bacon from West Orton 21-4, a comprehensive victory that one. Then came from behind to beat Alan Parsons 21-20, and then beat Darren Smith from Derby 21-14 to get to this stage. He's on the scoreboard here with 1 and trails 2-1 after the second end. But for the first time in this match now, Mike Wakeland, he has the chance to take control with the jack.
dictate the play, and he's a warm favourite and has been for many weeks for this title, John, as he is wherever he plays these days. He's always the warm favourite to lift many titles all over the country.
Well, it just drifted away late on. It looked rather better delivery than in fact it turned out to be, as Andrew Moss, a cool and calculated customer, get a really good shot of it there as the ball starts to move in towards the jack. I think it's short on length though. Our picture's deceptive. It doesn't, yes, you can see from that picture exactly how short it is. Lovely ground shot a moment ago of the delivery. That's a better effort. That's a great effort from Graeme Wilson, and that's the sort of quality we can expect from him, Mike Wakelam,
it is,
through this match.
As we mentioned in the first semi-final with Noel Burrows, Wilson's exactly the same, a good corrector of the second bowl.
Wilson, one. Well, it's only one to Wilson, but it levels things up at 2 apiece, 2 across as they say, and it also maintains Wilson's control of the little yellow bowl that's so important in this game. How he can dictate the length of the lead and of course the direction too.
Correct. He's looking for one of his favourite marks, as most of the top players do, and of course he's taken over from Brian Duncan as the game's number 1. And interestingly, John, both these players were good table tennis players when they were younger. Good eye and hand coordination perhaps.
Yes, there's a lot to be said, and it's surprising how many sportsmen do like to play table tennis. It keeps the wits sharper as well.
And that's what Crown Green Bowls is, a battle of wits.
Well, we've seen that already. 2 wonderful matches so far. Noel Burrows, Terry Cutting, both through to the semi-finals. Who will join them between Graeme Wilson and Andrew Moss? 2 relatively young fellas in their early 30s, with a lot of their career ahead of them yet.
And over the years, many elderly people have won the Waterloo, but now many younger people are favourites, as these 2 are.
Wilson won. Again, Wilson won for the 3rd end in a row, and if he keeps doing that, he will of course win the game. The important thing is, he's still got control. Take one every time, Mike. If you've got control of that jack, you're
That's right.
Build up the lead slowly but surely.
And there's no better player at this at the moment than Graeme Wilson.
Now he's come across towards the central drive stand, middle of the green. He's about 7 or 8 yards in from the edge of the green, and I suppose he's gone, what, about 35 yards across?
Yes, I think you're right, and that's a good lead bowl.
It is a good lead bowl, and the one that follows it, you can see it there, speedily moving along this turf, but has it got enough, no, to better that opener? No is the answer. Not a bad one, but you've got to be spot on at this game, as the red one merrily rolls along again. That's about equal to the blue there, I would suggest, Mike.
Yes, it may just have gone out. There is room for Moss here. Slightly better weight. Needs to rest.
Oh, it rested all right. It rested all right, and I think it's going to be 1 to blue. 1 blue, yes, I thought it would be. So, 3-2 becomes 3 apiece.
Welcome back to the world-famous Waterloo Championships here in Blackpool. Red-hot favourite Graeme Wilson is in trouble against Andy Moss, who's opened up an 8-3 lead.
He's got the advantage. You can see Wilson's getting slightly worried by his body language. Not used to being behind in these matches this season, Wilson.
Well, he was 20-19 behind against Alan Parsons in the last 32. managed to win it 21-20. Those sort of games can go either way, can't they?
They can.
But he had a 21-4 victory over Martin Bacon, and he beat Darren Smith of Derby 21-14 in the last 16 to reach this stage. He's looking pretty cool there, as is Moss, who's looking to add another. He's got a first. His first ball certainly is counting, and it's imperative for Wilson that he starts getting points on the board.
This side, offland again.
And again, it's going to be Moss who adds to his score. Just the one, I think, or he's not going to claim it yet, Mike. It's interesting. Yes, he is.
Got it now.
Eventually, so that now means he's leading by 8-3 after 9-3 rather, after 10 ends, and he's won 6 ends in a row, all of them by just the one.
You know what they say about the Waterloo, John? It keeps the crowd alive and the bookies on their toes, and this one certainly is.
Yes. With a lead of 9-3, you've got to say that Andrew Moss, 32-year-old, dairy farmer.
Chances for Wilson. Normally takes these opportunities.
Well, Andy Kearns is now talking to Elton Wellesby as we see an excellent delivery there. Over to you, Elton.
Thank you, John. Andy, of course, winner here in 97. Favourite at one stage last year, bit the dust. Favourite this year, Graeme Wilson's in a spot of other here.
He is. I think he might just be feeling a little bit of pressure at the moment. He's obviously the favourite, as you said in the introduction. Is the number one, undisputed, and this is the one he's never won. It's not got on his CV, and it's one that he's desperate to win. And I think sometimes that can just add to the pressure that he already must be feeling.
Mentally, how will he be feeling? Because Graeme doesn't like the green. It's no secret, and it's nothing against the Waterloo at all, but you know, some bowlers like certain greens, they don't like others. This isn't Graeme's favourite.
He has won lots of competitions on it, but more pairs with his wife Kathy than singles. I think the green isn't in the best of shape really for him. He does have the advantage of having possibly the best action in the game, and he gets bowls out nice and clean, whereas everyone else is struggling with the lumps and bumps. But he seems to be changing his game a little bit. Normally he would go as far as he could on here, 60 yards, and he's changed his game. He's going across the crown, playing shorter marks. I'm not just sure what the thinking is really.
Well, it's certainly not a winning ploy at the moment, although he's just pegged one back there, 9-4. Do you think this is a ploy now to get into this corner here, commentary box end, and then go into the far corner the other side?
Well, I think that's what he should be looking at. I don't really know Andrew very well. I've only seen him this week, and he did seem to struggle on the corners. So I'd expect Graeme to get in here and go as far as he could in into the other corner, really.
Well, all the signs are this could well turn into an absolute crackerjack of a match.
It's certainly looking like it. Graeme's a few behind, but he won't be worried. He won't be concerned about that at the moment. He's very level-headed. He'll just concentrate on getting in here and then starting to dictate the game and play it on his terms.
Well, Graeme certainly got the shot bowl here as we return to John Gwynn. Andy, thank you. We'll talk to you again towards the end of the game.
Okay.
Yes, thanks Andy, thanks Elton, and I think what Andy said there, play the game on his terms. That's what it's all about, isn't it, Mike? That goes for any player in this sport.
It is. And of course, 10-4 now to Moss. That was an important end for Moss to win. But there's no doubt about it, if Wilson gets in, he'll try the same ploy again. And it's obviously from delivering this jack that Moss has read that and gone back to the middle of the green again.
Yes, an important 11th end there for Graeme Wilson. He won 3 on the trot, the second, the third and the fourth, but then lost 6 in a row. And that's why you see Moss here. 10-4 ahead now. And looking to follow up. He's short there though, following the jack with his first bowl. And you've said before actually, Mike, that an opportunity exists here for Wilson. You could say that he's taken it there, but he won't be over pleased with that, I don't suppose.
He won't. Moss should beat that.
Well, it looks as though it's not going to come in as far as or as much as he thought it would. So Wilson, with 1 to his advantage at the moment, could here be making a second, couldn't he?
Got a start?
I think he has though. We'll wait and see. It's 10-4 at the moment to Moss. Now then,
Wilson,
2 it is indeed to Wilson. No, I don't always read it right, but on that occasion, that's 10-6 then. A vital 2 for Wilson. And apart from the first end, when Moss won 2, that's the only other time we've had a 2 in this contest. I suppose in a way that's a sign of how closely contested they are. How closely matched they are, I mean.
I think I would agree with you there, but with Wilson that could alter at any moment, of course. And again, he's gone for the corner, the opposite corner, and Moss knows that, so he'll again, of course, want to win this end.
Yes, down into the opposite corner, which is the southwest corner, down towards the fairground. And well, we've had 1 or 2 roller coaster rides on this green during the course of this contest. Are we to see another here?
And over the 99 years, John.
They say it's all swings and roundabouts. Well, there are plenty of those in Blackpool, but metaphorically speaking anyway, they exist here on this green.
Important bowl for Moss, this.
Isn't it just? Because Wilson could be on a roll if this doesn't make it. And 1 to Wilson, certainly.
Wilson, 1.
Yes.
Second prize to Moss, but he saved 1, which is important.
Welcome back to Blackpool's Waterloo Hotel, where we've already seen 1 major quarter-final upset. Andy Moss is inching his way towards another, leading world number 1 Graeme Wilson 11-9.
And it's a push back this way, John. He's pushed this out well. It's not far away.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's about 1.5 foot, 18 inches away. And
this could be better.
No,
just gone out.
It has just gone out. Just running on a little too far. Yeah, lovely stylish action, hasn't he, Moss? Very, very smooth indeed. And there, the delivery. Just as smoothly going along, but not exactly where he wanted it to.
It's both good deliverers of a bowl. Wilson, certainly. And he could have corrected it this time. Wants that jack for 2.
Class. I think the players themselves will have to determine this one, and we're watching an anxious Graeme Wilson, no doubt, walking towards
Wilson, 1.
and he's got the one there that he was requiring to try and gain control of the match. He trails 11-10, but he's now taken us over for the first time for some time now across into the far northwest corner of the green, Mike.
Yes, Graeme's trying to break the concentration of Moss by changing the length, changing the mark, but so far he hasn't succeeded.
Well, that looks nice. Is it going to run on? Is it going to stop? It's actually, in the end, decided to go its own course and is, I would suspect anyway, second best.
Yes, this is a better bowl from Wilson. If it stops, better line.
It's not going to stop, Mike. Not going to stop, is it? No.
No.
So a chance here for Andrew Moss, the 32-year-old, who bowls for the Chester Road Club in Whitchurch, to put it in the gap and find a way towards the... No, again, too much weight. So I wouldn't say that that was the most impressive end we've seen in this match. But one for Wilson nonetheless.
Not at all. Neither player will be satisfied there. The lead bowl from Wilson wasn't good, and the last bowl presented an opportunity to Moss, and he didn't get what he required. He thought he was going to get in there. I think when he moved down he seemed confident, but just went through.
So it's the 34-year-old Halifax born bowls renovator. He now lives in Oldham and qualifies therefore for Greater Manchester, I suppose, in residence, but travels over the Pennines to do his local bowling at Lower Hopton in Mirfield, Graeme Wilson, with his dad Jeff. 11 all the score.
Used to play in the same team at Elland Road in Leeds with his dad at 13, John. And the same team as his mum at 7. Way, his hands are saying that. Way, body language again.
Martin, I'm going to say they look difficult, the bowls, it just make life difficult. It's annoying,
Looks like 2 to Wilson.
Wilson, 2. Well, you were dead right, Mike. It is 2 to Wilson. 13-11 the score now to him. And you look back, the only other time he's been in the lead in this match was at 3-2 after 4 ends. He's never been in the lead since then. So maybe this is a pivotal part of the match. Now that Wilson's ahead, is he going to lose the lead again?
Yes, and he's decided now that this is possibly Moss's weakness.
Over towards that far corner again, the northwest corner.
Not as far as last time though, John. Significant. Trying to just vary the weight. He's caught Moss out, you see. Short. No.
Yes. You almost might say that he's alarmed by that, but it's got nothing to do with this match, I can promise you. As the police car zooms down Central Drive, unaware of the adventure and the competitive nature of affairs in this Waterloo Bowling Green Stadium. Well, that last one there of Moss may turn out to be a winner.
Moss,
but that was in the end, yeah, 13-12 then. Hanging on in there as Andrew Moss makes sure that Graeme Wilson doesn't get too far away. Now, where will he come? Back down towards the corner they've just left, but it's going to be much, much shorter and more to the centre of the green, Mike. In fact, it's just beneath us. I can see it just beneath us. As
I just wonder, you remember earlier on in the game, John, we mentioned that he beat Peter Fielding on a mark up and across the middle of this green, and he hasn't had an opportunity to get on it since, and I think that's what he may be thinking in this game.
Well, look at that for a lead. You don't get a better one than that. It literally is lying alongside the jack, and this could be a spoiler by Wilson. No, it hasn't quite got the legs on it, but it's a great effort. If that had been the first ball, we'd have been saying what a beauty. But compared with that of Moss, and he certainly won't want to make contact here, he may actually be sending this beyond. No, he's looking for a second, but he's not going to get it. So what do you think Wilson will do here? Well, we'll soon know.
He'll play up and try and push that ball out. Unfortunately for him, he's just slightly narrow.
Moss, one. Well, let's be honest. That first delivery from Moss deserved to win. It just nestled up alongside the jack. It's meant that the score is 13 apiece. And
yes, that first bowl, that's the sort of bowl you want when you're lying 20.
Yes, oh yes, put pressure on the other man as the sun really comes out now, and an early autumn day in Blackpool is turning almost into a late summer's day. As look at that, he's gone so close. In fact, it's right on the edge, Mike. Could you get closer to the edge of the green without being off it?
And as we said earlier, this is the mark he beat Fielding on.
Yes, in a dramatic last 16 encounter. And neither player here will be wanting to get right up to the... Well, they'll be wanting to, but it's a rather precarious thing to do, isn't it? Because you're going to go off the edge.
Definitely.
More than likely, anyway.
A bad bowl could win this end because of where the jack's placed.
Just look at that crowd. Everybody in that crowd absolutely spellbound. Not missing a trick.
That's a good bowl now.
Well, you can see there exactly how close to the ditch that the jack is. And this is a challenge now for Wilson. It will have paid off for Andrew Moss. He's only one in. That was what Wilson was asking, and that's the answer he got from the referee. So his
studying the line, Wilson there. You could see it on camera.
Ah, interesting. Brilliant! Oh, you would not believe it! You have just seen a fantastic exhibition of weight and line and length combined. Just look at that. Another fraction and over she goes. Well.
And all those in the crowd that end who backed Wilson were holding their breath.
I'm sure they were. And I reckon Mr. Wilson himself might have just taken a gasp or two there. It was a beauty. I don't think there'll be a better one than that. Or is that rather a sweeping thing to say?
Another good lead up this corner.
Well, I used to read about the mighty feats of Wilson in The Wizard when I was a lad, but I'll tell you what, even he wouldn't have been able to perform one like that.
I don't think so.
He won test matches, he won rugby internationals, he won soccer matches, never won the Waterloo.
Two of the best bowls Graeme Wilson has put up in this match so far.
Yes, and all the signs perhaps that he can home in on victory from here, though Andrew Moss is going to be a tough nut to crack.
And he's turned the peg, coming in the other side.
Wilson, 2.
But nevertheless, 2 to Wilson, 16-13 the lead, and it's beginning to look more and more, 14-13, 16-13 he leads, yes, and 16-13 then to Wilson, and that's the first time ever in this contest that he's been 3 ahead. He's been 3-2 up, he's been 13-11 up. So
significantly now, that end where he stopped on the edge of the green may have given him confidence. In fact, he could try anything now, John, after that.
well, yes, it took my breath away, that wonderful finish to that end a couple of ends ago. But wonderful delivery there from Moss, who is far from done with, rest assured.
Trying here, Wilson. Just on the bottom side. Determination there by Moss. He thinks he can get 2 here.
No, that never looked on to me, Mike. Never looked on, and I'm sure it didn't to him either.
1.
Moss won, 16-14 in Wilson's favour, but Moss will now pick up the yellow ball. This is one very, very good contest. We've had 2 already in this Waterloo Championship, 2 quarter-finals. Noel Burrows beating Rob Pearce 21-11, and Terry Cutting beating Tommy Johnston 21-17. But Elton, you're with Andy Cairns again.
Thanks, John. 16-14 to Graeme. What a miraculous bowl that was to give him the 14-13 lead.
It was absolutely fantastic ball. The jack was perched on the edge. Okay, I think the nearest ball was about 2.5 feet off, but to play a dead length ball on the road, superb ball there, superb.
Bowl of the day, bar none, one would thought.
So far, yeah, definitely ball of the day, that.
Well, when we chatted earlier, we talked about it could turn into an excellent game of bowls. It's certainly that and more.
Yeah, it's certainly the best game so far. As I predicted earlier, Graeme has gone for the corners and it's got him in front. He's not in at the moment, but he should count this end. And then I expect him to go down to the toilet corners and get going again. Yeah, just won the end there.
Yeah, played another beauty. The favourite, it was the kiss of death to be the favourite last year, Andy, wasn't it? And you suffered along with quite a few. Graeme looks like he's handling that pressure as we speak, 17-14.
Yeah, he, as I said earlier, he's very cool, very calm. He's been in these sorts of situations before. I think he likes the pressure, actually. I think it makes him play a little bit better. The favourites have done well this year on the heat betting. Most of the favourites have won, and I think it's lining up to be an excellent semi-final field.
Indeed, Andy, thanks very much again.
Yes, Andy Cairns, who was in the quarter-finals here last year, won the event in 1997 when he beat Bob Hitchin from Halifax. Andy's from Rossendale, Rottenstall, in fact. Nice to see him here, as I think he's right. This is a gripping contest, no question about it, as Andrew Moss, right on cue, puts in an absolute belter.
You remember earlier, John, we talked about the battle of wits, and I think this is how this game has turned out to be, a real battle of wits, because both players have been bowling their own particular marks well, with the opponents coming in with a good second bowl.
Yes, you would expect if the bowler is bowling his own marks well, for him to largely retain possession of the jack. But as you say, that hasn't always been the case because the other fellas responded well. And 2 there from Moss means that we are absolutely perfectly poised at 17-16 for a grandstand finish here.
Very much so. And here again, you see, Moss is thinking about where shall I put this jack? Where can I outwit him?
Well, he's going to try and outwit him here by taking the jack across diagonally just beyond the centre of the green, maybe 2/3 the way across. 35-yard lead, I would suggest. And he's followed it up with a pretty useful first bowl.
Can be beat on this mark though, John.
Yes. Well, it can be beaten on any mark, but I know what you mean. I don't think this one's going to beat it though. Well short, well short.
And that's unusual for Wilson.
There you see a lovely view there with both players looking across 2/3 the way across. And you can see also that the crowd here really enjoying this fair, really are enjoying their bowls. At
Wilson needs to pull one out here.
He could do, it could do, it could be, it is. You said he needed to pull one out, and did he? What a bowl again from Wilson. It was the 24th end where he produced that miracle bowl right on the edge of the green, but that was, if not equally as good, nevertheless a wonderful piece of work to be appreciated. 18-16 he leads. He leads now as well into the corner or towards the Waterloo pub itself. And
yeah, true champion in this sport, John, I suppose, could be said to have the confidence in his own ability, and that was displayed there by Wilson.
Well, he said to me when I was talking to him earlier that he was not embarrassed, but he was annoyed at having lost in 2002 by 21-9 to Stamford. He said, I never really gave him a match. He said, but I'm determined this time to get closer and closer and closer. And of course this game is all about getting closer and closer and closer, but I knew what he meant. If he does reach the final, to give his opponent a real game.
This is a poser for Moss. Needs just to rest on that ball of Wilson's.
Well, there's a bit more weight in this, quite deliberately so. Brilliant stuff. Oh yes, Moss, absolutely brilliant. Manages not just to get the one, but 2 in fact. That could be an absolute match winner. We don't know yet, but it means that the score moves on to 18 apiece. Bowling at its very best.
Yes, absolutely superb, that ball. And there's been some superb ones in this quarter-final, John.
Yes.
At all lengths.
You're right. At all lengths, indeed. Well, the sun is trying to break through the thin cloud overhead. It's warming up, and certainly everybody's warming to this match now because crunch time it is, 18 apiece. It's the man who can continue to produce brilliance such as that we've seen from both of them in this contest, Mike, who can turn the match his way.
Certainly, and Wilson will be disappointed with that ball. There's room to get in, and now Moss can really punish him by getting 2, and then he'll be within 1 of victory.
Well, that's the leader for my money, but has he got 2 in?
This is going to say something.
It's just coming in. Has it got the legs? Though it hasn't. It's not going to say anything except I'm a loser. And two for Moss, you're right. And Moss is one shot away at 2018. And I've got to say, Mike, that single shot on the 29th end, which gave him 2 when he hit the jack, was a potential match winner. We have seen some potential match winners in this contest, but Moss just one away now.
Yes, and the tension's mounting now, not only amongst the players but the bookies and the crowd, and they're all watching this bowl. This is an important one, a good one here, and Wilson will really be under pressure.
Well, it's bowling down towards where the bookies are standing, and I suppose they'll be delighted if Moss wins this, will they?
They will.
With Wilson bowling for his very life here in terms of the Waterloo. It's 1 to Moss, methinks. I think I saw the referee signal such.
Yes.
So it's the man who's leading by that 1 at the moment, now bowling his second delivery, knowing that if he takes
Even
just
better.
1... Oh, it's superb! He nudges against it. Pressure on Wilson now. Well, it's got to be Wilson at his very, very best if he's to survive this 2006 Waterloo. It's coming down towards the jack. Oh, it's gone between. I don't believe it. It's only 1 to Moss, but that's enough. You've got to say, hard luck, Graeme Wilson. What a great effort to retrieve the situation there.
One of the best games I've ever seen at the Waterloo, that one, John.
It was a superb match, but it's Andrew Moss who goes through by 21 points to 18.
Commiserations first of all to Graeme, the number 1, the favourite, who's gone out, but congratulations to Andy. You must have been absolutely thrilled with that.
Yeah, obviously. Like you say, everybody knows Graeme's the number 1, and you've just got to hang in when you get behind a little bit and play the shots and hope they come off. I mean, Graeme had bad luck on the last end, obviously, but hopefully his bad luck's my good luck, isn't it, really?
Also, you've been credited, Graeme, with the bowl of the tournament, the one which stopped right on the corner, on the edge rather. I mean, that must have been fantastic.
Yeah, it's just got to reach up really and hope for the best. I mean, if it had gone a little bit more further, it'd have gone in, wouldn't it? It'd been 1 down, but it's just on the day, isn't it?
You are very disappointed. I mean,
well, yeah.
Gutted would probably a better word for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've done much wrong really there, but Andrew's played. I mean, he's played 3 brilliant ends to finish off with there, and can't do anything about that. But he's played well. Good luck to him.
Thank you. You're obviously relishing this. It's your first experience of finals day, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals now of the Waterloo. Are you relishing it? Have you conquered your nerves now?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous to start with, obviously. I mean, I've never been anywhere like this before, but I enjoy it once you've settled, then how can you not enjoy this, really? So.
Okay, Graeme, once again, commiserations. It's one of those things, isn't it, that favourites here, it's quite often the kiss of death, and you've succumbed this time.
Yeah, I say Andrew's played well. I mean, I don't think I've played that bad really, but Andrew's played the bowls and it's won it for. I mean, he's played some good bowls and it's winning the game. So congratulations to him, and hope he goes on to win it.
We'll see you next year, Graeme. Thank you. Andy, we'll see you in the semis.
Thank you.
So yet again, the favourite bites the dust. Graeme Wilson this time, beaten in fluent style by Andy Moss. Well, the last quarter-final is between Billy Farrell and Lee Heaton. Billy hasn't been at this stage of the Waterloo before. Lee is a former winner. So the first semi-final, Noel Burrows against Terry Cutting. Then it will be Andy Moss against either Billy Farrell or Lee Heaton. First of all, Billy, first time at this stage of the Waterloo. How the nerves?
Pretty good. I've been bowling that long. I've learned to cope with it.
And Lee, a winner here in '96. 10 years, a long time.
It is a long time. Forgot what it's like. So yeah, it's nice to be back.
And as far as the green concerned, I mean, your home green, Garswood, I mean, that's a massive thing. So you're not going to have any trouble reaching the corners here, right?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
What are your tactics, Lee? Eh?
Not telling you.
We'll find out soon enough. I'm going to toss the coin. Billy, if you'd like to just shout there.
Heads.
And heads it is. So, Billy, it's with the block. And with just a little tip, if you're having a bet, everybody, so far, Blue has won every single match.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. 3-0 for the Blues as a Man City fan, but Billy Farrell doesn't. He's a big red, a Manchester United fan, not just wearing the red shirt of the bowler, but obviously proud of the fact that he watches United. His hero is Brian Duncan, and Duncan Edwards, the great footballer. Anyway, he started us off in this game. He won the block. And Mike, nice to have you alongside again. We've just witnessed a wonderful quarter-final. This one looks as though it could be every bit as good, with a former champion Lee Heaton bowling as we speak.
Yes, and the perfect start by Heaton, and of course he's a warm favourite here. I don't know too much about Billy Farrell, but my information is that he's certainly a reacher and a good competitor.
Yes, he very infrequently plays in these championships. He says in all his career he's only played about 5 times, and this by far his most successful year, and he's just put in an absolute beautiful second ball to win the opening end, and obviously to retain the jack. So that's 1-0 then to Billy Farrell. But he's 58 years of age. He lives in Newton-le-Willers in Merseyside. He bowls at the Garswood Hall Club in Wigan, who actually have won the British Team Championship on 3 occasions, and he's been proud to captain that side. So he's been around a bit.
Yes, one of the best club sides in Crown Green Bowls, and of course both of these are members of the Lancashire County team, so they'll have seen each other play many times.
Yes, they know each other's game, there's no doubt about it. Lee Heaton is 26 years Billy Farrell's junior. What a beautiful first though from Farrell. He has started so well. And Heaton in blue from Chorley, not a million miles down the road from here, and he'll be hoping to make it a good week at the seaside, as he did 10 years ago when he won this title in '96. But you've got to say, Billy Farrell has started absolutely beautifully. 2 reds right up there, nestling, look at them like birds' eggs together on the green. The strike coming, it's veered away, and I think that Billy Farrell deserves those 2, frankly. I'm not saying I'm sorry the strike missed, but I'm not sorry it didn't, if you see what I mean, Mike.
True, and he doesn't look to be suffering nerves at the moment.
Well, 3-0 to Billy Farrell, and away he goes across the green towards our right, and central drive. Very quiet at the moment, central drive, but this crowd is very much stirred. They've seen 3 cracking quarter-finals. This is the start of the 4th, and once again, lovely length there from Billy Farrell, just a touch beyond the jack. Couple of feet, maybe a yard.
Heaton should beat that, and he has.
Well, we get a nice big fat worm on the green, and the early bird catches the worm here, but the early bird wasn't early enough, and the worm is still squirming.
Chance for Heaton now to score his first 2. Looks good enough.
Well, while the worm was squirming, it was Lee Heaton worming his way to his first point of the contest.
and 3-2 in fact. He picks up 2, Mike. I thought there was only one there when the referee held up the blue disc, but 2 it was. 3-2 then. And
very difficult corner of the green, this one. But Heaton, with his experience, knows it well, although his judgment there seems to be way off because that ball's gone well through.
It's gone so well through that I think it's gone in the ditch, and that means that Farrell, Billy Farrell, can put the pressure on. What a beautiful ball from Farrell again, just a fraction beyond, but lovely length in the end. And this has got nice weight on it. No, it hasn't. It's marvellous how it seems to be going well, and then right at the death it just veers away, Mike.
It does, yes, and that's what the game's all about. Obviously Heaton had thought, well, here's a chance, I can get on a mark.
Farrell 2.
And he has done and scored 2. To Farrell.
Yeah, so 5-2 now to Farrell, and this could be a quicker game than we think. We've had 3 2s already in 4 ends.
Yes, it's the quickest game of the day so far.
And Farrell now leading towards the north stand. Couldn't be more central, I would suggest. And about, well, 1.5 yards in from the edge. And he's following it up here with a sturdy looking ball that, if it stops now, will be as near perfect as you can get. Oh, fantastic to watch. Now then, what does Heaton have in reply? He's not going to get nearer for certain without moving.
Too wide.
Without moving the jack, I would suggest, or moving.
Yes, the titanic encounter that Farrell had in his last 16 game when he just got home 21-20 means that I watched that game and he went all the way around the green and obviously seeking knowledge and using it now.
Yeah, he beat Dean Ferris from Stoke-on-Trent in that match. It was, I watched it as well. It was a cracking game. And he'll be hoping for the same result here, maybe with a wider margin. And he's certainly going to take 1 here and possibly 2. We'll wait and see. The first
Farrell
one,
2.
Oh, he's got the 2. He's got the 2, which means he's got 3 2s to his credit. He's also got the one that he started with. That means he's now 7-2 up already. And Lee Heaton has started rather like Blackburn Rovers, the team he supports, but they've picked up, so he'll be hoping to as well.
Is this another game where the bookies are going to applaud, just as they did when Wilson lost? Because Heaton's a very strong favourite to win this one.
Yes, 1996 champion. He beat Eddie Golston from Newton Heath in Manchester on that occasion 10 years ago.
Another good lead.
And the thing is, Mike, when he won it, he was only 22. He's still young, 32 years of age, Lee Heaton. And he's well short there. At the moment, Billy Farrell has certainly got the better of him. As Farrell, you see him there with a lovely stylish lead. And now then, what's the end result? Not as good as his first, but not that far away.
Heaton just hasn't settled into his game yet at all. He's looking for a good bowl to build some confidence. And he's through again.
Farrell 2.
Well, 2 more to Farrell, 9-2. This is a quickie.
We're in Blackpool for the most famous event in Crown Green Bowls, the Waterloo Championships. This is the last remaining quarter-final where Billy Farrell leads former champion Lee Heaton 9-2 in the race to 21-0.
Yes, that tempting yellow egg over towards that corner. Now, that's the worst lead that he's had. The first ball is a long, long way beyond the yellow.
But not a good bowl again from Heaton. That's poor. He'll be disappointed with that.
Oh. Well, they're not playing marbles. The intention is sometimes to hit the target. I'm not sure that it was there. And this could be a very, very useful last
Heaton,
one.
2.
Oh, that makes it 2. And got to say, Mike, that he needed that.
Definitely did. And of course, if Heaton did win, then the semi-final would be a repeat of the 1999 British Crown Green Individual Merit Final, because Andrew Moss lost to him in that.
Yes, indeed, he did. Andrew Moss already through to the semi-final. You'll have seen his game yesterday, no doubt. Andrew Moss beating Graeme Wilson 18-21.
Not so much of that, my man said.
Extended the length this time, Heaton. A fair bowl, but beatable.
Yes, it's about a yard and about 4 feet away. This is well short. And for once we're saying of Billy Farrell, well, for the second running, we're saying poor first bowl. And that's been his strength so far in this game.
And this is not much better. Still plenty of room for a person who's got this far in the competition, Farrell.
Well, he's released, picks up his mat, runs after it, and has he got what it takes? It's going round. It's not quite. It just nudged. Heaton a little closer.
Heaton 1.
Heaton, in fact, gets the 1.
Now that's the second end in succession that Farrell has gone into Heaton's bowl and promoted it.
Awaiting the winner of this match is our third semi-finalist, Andy Moss. It's going to be either Billy or Lee for you, Andy. Have you played out them before?
I played Lee once, 1999. He beat me in the All England final, actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only time I've played him.
But not Billy?
But I've never played Billy, no.
So do you have a preference? I mean, there you go. You see, you know one of their games. You don't know the other particularly well, apart from watching here, of course. So does that mean you prefer to play the guy that you know better?
Not really. As I say, I only played Lee once, so I don't know too much about him. No, not me. I'm not bothered who I play.
I suppose when you get to the semi-final of the Waterloo, you know you're going to get quality anyway, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, it totally depends on how you play yourself, really. If everybody's playing well, aren't they? So, you know, it's as simple as that, really.
Let's just have a look at the current score. Billy is leading by 9-5. There is a change there. I think he's calling for 2. It looks like it too as well, doesn't it?
Lee's been playing very well this week. I've watched a few of Lee's games and he's played very well. So,
of course, the experience of having won here, that must sort of go in his favour a little bit.
It will do. I would think so. He knows what it takes to win these sort of things. So.
And what about the green? It seems to me that it is speeding up and has since this morning. We've had a bit of sun, we've had a bit of breeze.
As I say, yesterday they had overnight rain and it was heavy. It's a lot quicker today, and that, like you say, this wind will alter it as the afternoon goes on, as long as it doesn't have this rain that they might forecast for later.
Now then, Heaton going way across now towards that north-east corner of the green.
Fair bowl.
It is a good one. Going from the centre of the green left on the western side across to that north-east corner. And
could be better.
It's a beauty. Now that's how he was at the beginning of the match. His first bowl was every bit in the opening 3 or 4 ends was every bit like that one.
Played up. Jacko bowl.
Well, you saw there it came a shade to the right of the jack as we saw it, and this one from Billy Farrell. He won't want to move. He won't want to get too close. I rather think he satisfied himself with one there myself. I don't know what you think, Mike.
Yes, I think so. And what's interesting now, my information from the Lancashire contingent around the green is that Farrell likes a long mark. So will he do that? No, he hasn't.
Well, he'll be aware of Heaton's game as well, and he'll be taking that into account. I mean, that isn't a short mark, is it? It's from that corner.
It's a push, and it's probably 30 metres, 35
yes, I'd
metres.
say 35, yeah.
Good lead bowl again.
Yes, he's 2.5 feet beyond the jack there. And
this is better.
This one from Heaton is anything but that far away. So advantage Heaton as Farrell. 10-7 ahead.
Like to push the jack here, John?
Yeah, could do, will do. No, just missed, and in fact he's nudged his first ball further away, so the opportunity for Heaton is all that much greater now for a 2. Lovely measurement, lovely stuff. Yes, Lee Heaton 10-9 behind, but in his stride, one thinks.
Developing into another battle of wits, John.
Well, the book is there. You see they're shouting the odds. And there you have it. I rather think that Graeme Hurst from Murfield would have had shorter odds on Billy Farrell 15 minutes ago than they are now, as Billy sees Lee Heaton creep up within 1 there. 10-9, anybody's contest. The winner plays Andrew Moss in the semi-final.
And that's a Yorkshire bookmaker giving his opinion on 2 Lancashire players.
You'd have thought he'd have packed up and gone home, wouldn't you? But when it comes to bookmaking, there's money to be made and lost sometimes. As that again, it's unbelievable. It's as though Lee Heaton's bowls are magnetised.
That's true.
We know they're not, but Billy Farrell must be thinking thus right now. Because on 4 occasions now, he has hit Heaton's bowl to his own disadvantage. 1 to Heaton.
Turn the bowl over there, Farrell, but not to his advantage.
Now then, 10-10. Where are you going to put your money with Mr. Hurst from Murfield, my friend?
My money would always be on a player who's won this competition.
And that means Lee Heaton, who's leading now from the far corner to the north-east of the green, to the middle of the western terrace, the western stand. You can see those lovely folks sitting in there enjoying the sunshine here at Blackpool and enjoying a wonderful competition. While other things are going on outside of this arena, they matter not to us, because we are seeing a wonderful contest here between Billy Farrell from Newton-le-Willers and Lee Heaton from Chorley in this last quarter-final match of the Waterloo Championship. There's the man who won it 10 years ago, putting a second ball in and determined perhaps to take the lead here for the first time in the match.
And significantly, if Heaton scores 2 here, that'll be the 5th 2 he scored.
He's going to as well, isn't he? Or may that be a stopper? He can't win it, but it can stop him getting 2.
Heaton won.
Yes, it has done. So all credit there to Billy Farrell, but Heaton is 11-10 up, and it's the first time that he's been in the lead in this match, Mike.
Yes, and it's significant also that Heaton himself is just varying the length again. He's gone down into the bottom corner, and he obviously believes that coming back to the middle of the green may be a weakness in the play of Farrell. It'll be interesting to see what sort of lead this is and what Farrell does. It's not a good bowl though.
There he is, the 58-year-old Billy Farrell from Newton de Willers, bowls for the Garswood Old Club in Wigan, one of the best known clubs in Crown Green bowling. And Billy Farrell actually beat Cliff Harris 21-13, Chris Livesey from Bacup 21-12, and had that match we mentioned against Dean Ferris from Stoke-on-Trent in the last 16. He won 21-20. And he's looking here to put that in nicely. Is it gone too far? I think it's going to pull up in time, is it?
Might have gone through close. Look here.
It is close, you're right. And it's crucial, isn't it? 11-10. It's either extending Heaton's lead or putting Farrell in contention. So a measurement needed here. And
I fancy the back bowl here.
You fancy the back one. That's the last one that was bowled, isn't it? And therefore the one of Billy Farrell. Now that's the one I fancied, but it's very, very deceptive. That's the one of Heaton that they're measuring now. Now they'll take what Mike calls the back one, because we're sitting on the far side of the picture you see. It's the front one from where you are at home.
Farrell what?
And in fact it is the winner, that, so it didn't run on too far. It means it's 11 apiece, and that's Farrell's first end in 4. On with the 15th end. Farrell's coming way across diagonally towards Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's about a mile down the road, maybe slightly less.
And this is a very big push. He's really extended the length here, Farrell. Heaton struggling.
It's struggling, but it might just win. I think he's just winning. But it may not matter after these two, because surely they'll both improve on their respective first deliveries. Has this got the legs? Is it going to stop? Methinks it is. I think it's going to stop. It's not got enough. It's not got enough. So a great chance here for Heaton, who's one in already with what we have to say is hardly better than mediocre bowl, and he surely will improve and make it 2 again. He knew what weight was needed just to make that 2, and he's going to get 2 there that he probably thinks himself he didn't deserve.
Yes, and for the last 2 ends where he scored ones, he was disappointed that he didn't get his second bowl in. So that's important now. He has got the second bowl in, and he's taken a 2-shot lead.
And maybe it compensates for Lee Heaton, who's leading now. He bowls at the Horwich RMI Club. He's an operation manager. Well, he's operating pretty well here, managing to anyway. Interestingly, he got a walkover in the last 64, Mike, because Stan Frith had a frozen shoulder. Twice former champion Stan Frith from Weaverham couldn't function. So Heaton got a bye into this last 32. He beat Andy Cairns 21-14, and then beat Ryan Goodman of Haywood 21-16.
I think the significance about that is that Heaton beat Andrew Cairns 21-14, and that's no mean performance. Andrew, an excellent player on this green, and of course himself a former winner, as is Stan Frith on 2 occasions.
Well, Heaton's turning turning on the screw now. That's a beauty, That's a beauty to deny Farrell with that first ball of his. And standing now. He won't follow it. Some players walk behind the ball, but he won't. He's got to satisfy himself with the knowledge that Heaton has only taken one there. But even so, it's a 14-11 lead. And when you think, Mike Wakeham, that at one stage Billy Farrell was 9-4 ahead, it's a little bit disconcerting for him. 10 of the last 12 points have gone to Heaton.
Is the quarter-final slipping away after such a brilliant start?
Oh, brilliant start, yeah, one of the best starts we've had. He got 3 twos on the trot. In fact, he led 9-2.
Seemed to think this was short when it left his hand, but it's gone further than I think he believed it was. It's not a bad bowl there, in actual fact.
Yes, one of the things that these players have to contend with is the knowledge that certain parts of the green are perhaps quicker or slower than other parts, and
yes,
I think we saw it indicated, and possibly here again he's going to run on here, not quite as much as his first one.
And if the player's unsure, the crowd will soon tell him, John, if it's short.
Well, there he is. He's got a much better stride now than he had earlier in the contest, when his body language was anything but as confident. Oh, but that's not a bad one. Farrell got the one then to stem the flow of Heaton successes. It's 12-15. Elton Wellesby, I think he's got Bob Hitchin with him now.
Yes, Bob taking a great deal of interest in this particular match because it's a real battle of wits, isn't it? Tactically very interesting.
It is. It's actually a bit of a scrappy game, actually. It's crying out for somebody to put 2 or 3 good ends together, and whoever does that should make a break here. But both players, the change in the length, the change in different areas of the green, but nobody can just nail it for that end, just to get that 2 or 3 points lead.
I mean, you don't need a stint meter to know that the green is speeded up appreciably since earlier on, and possibly the last couple of days as well. That must be confusing when you think you've planned your line and your length and what have you.
It is, but it's also a little bit blustery out there in the middle as well, which probably not helping the bowlers. But because I think we've seen in all the quarterfinals, nobody has played well, for a full game, and I think this is just the same in this game here. But I'm sure if somebody can just put 2 or 3 ends together on this game, they're going to end up winners.
Out of these two, who would you say is Mr. Unflappable?
Well, they both. I mean, Billy Farrell's been around a long time, and Billy won't flap. But Lee's also got the experience of the big time on the green, so they both know what it's all about. And it's just going to boil down to who can just hold it and play a couple of good balls at the right time.
14 across. Now, I know you're not a betting man, but if it were right now, my fiver, who would it go on?
Well, I'm just going to go with Lee Heaton probably, but I think it could go all the way this to a 20 game, because we've seen already in 2 of the previous quarterfinals the favourite has gone out. But it's happening a lot today, and I think there's going to be a lot more in store before we're finished.
Thanks, Bob. Well, so far, John, blue has been the colour.
Yes, Elton, and at 14 apiece, who's to say it won't be again? It's anybody's tie, and Elton there talking to Bob Hitchin from Halifax, a finalist here in 1997. Mike, you mentioned Andy Cairns as a past winner. It was in fact Bobby Beat 9 years ago.
It was, yes, I was here for that.
Yes, and that's a lovely, lovely ball, isn't it, from the man in blue, Heaton. And Farrell, who wasn't running like that earlier, is trying to give that. He knows it's a good one. He knows it's a beauty, but is it good enough? I think he's acknowledging that Heaton has one in there. I think I think
yes, it looks to be Heaton's.
It looks like it, but what a great effort that from...
He turned his bowl over in an attempt to come for 2, but satisfied with counting that one, I would think.
Yes. It was a very, very good saver, wasn't it?
Excellent.
A saver to savour, you could say.
Yes.
So, 14-15 in Heaton's favour, and he will now be taking us across to the centre of the... well, the middle of that edge, or towards the edge of the central drive stand.
He's trying to find a mark that he can catch Farrell out on. He hasn't succeeded so far, and like his opponent, he's put a bad first bowl up, and that's happened in this game on about 6 occasions so far.
Well, Farrell started the match by putting some immaculate first bowls in, and if he could recapture those moments, then he could go on to win it, though he's trailing at the moment.
Yes, and that's gone through, which gives Farrell a chance to take the lead again.
Yes, he's got one in for certain, and unless something tragic happens here, then he'll be guaranteed the one.
Looks like 2, John.
Brave call, Mike, but you're dead right. You're dead right.
Farrell,
I reckon
2.
you played a time or 2 before as well.
Just
somewhere.
a little bit. But never reached these heights, unfortunately.
16-15 now to Farrell. Ding dong, isn't it?
I'm joined here in the crowd by Ray Lee from Horwich. Somebody who's known Lee Heaton since he was a young kid, since he started the game of Crown Green Bowls.
That's right, yes. He started about 12 years of age, coming home from school, coming onto the RMI green, and took it up with the older fellas as were bowling, the veterans, and he started from there.
And it's something you've followed his career ever since then, have you, Ray?
We have, yes.
Tell me about 10 years ago, 96, he won it. Was you one of the lucky punters to be on him that day?
I was on at 50-1. He was 7-1 to win his quarter-final because he'd drawn Brian Duncan, the king, of course, and beat Brian quite comfortable.
Did you take the 7-1?
We didn't, no. We was quite happy with the 50s.
You plenty at the 50s. Tell me about 2006. What price have you got him this year?
We're on at 20s, yes, 20-1 today.
You got any spare for me?
No, I think we'll need it because he's just behind at the moment. So.
And what do you think? Can he do it again?
I think he can do it. He came from well down. He was 12-4 down yesterday. So he came back. So we're hoping he can do it today.
Ray's on at 20s. He's got none spare. He's having it all as he's looking for Lee to do a double.
Well, they're enjoying the Blackpool sunshine here in the Waterloo, and look at that lovely egg rolling towards us, waiting to be joined in a moment, but how closely by this red one from Billy Farrell.
Far as you like was the cry, and it needed to go further, I think, to put Heaton under pressure.
Oh, you'll get plenty of advice from the crowd, that's for sure. Plenty of advice from the crowd, and that one's gone beyond Farrell's delivery. So, 16-15, a place in the semi-final for the winner. Don't know who it's going to be. Farrell putting a little bit more weight behind this one, and maybe a little too much, as at the moment it's one in to Heaton, and if he takes this, it will be Heaton going ahead again. Don't think that's good enough, Mike. It's not. I think it's just the one to Heaton, which means it'll be 16 apiece.
Still everything to play for.
Everything to play for, indeed.
Lengthened it significantly this time, Heaton.
Well, the matches in these quarter-finals have got ever closer game by game. Look at this. Burrows beat Rob Pearce 21-11. Second game saw Cutting beat Johnston 21-17. We saw Andrew Moss beat Graeme Wilson 21-18. I just have a feeling that this is going to be closer still, and the progression may even continue beyond the quarterfinals.
Definitely. And if I was Noel Burrows, I'd be sitting in the stand over there watching these players continually actively forced to put good woods up, tire themselves out perhaps.
Well, we're seeing this particular end played right across in that far northeastern corner, and Lee Heaton's not happy with that one, nor should he be. Way short, just not enough weight, and so a chance is it for two here, Mike?
I wouldn't bet against it because I think the door is wide open for him.
Which, if successful, would give him an 18-16 lead. Has he got it? Yes, he has indeed. Lovely stuff from Billy Farrell. 18-16 to the United fan against the Blackburn Rovers fan, eh? If you football fans out there are watching this, you've got Rovers in blue, you've got United in red. What more could you want?
Charlie, tell us at the start of the quarter-finals, big liabilities on Tommy Johnston and Graeme Wilson and probably others. What's happened?
Absolutely. The three short ones, Burrows, Johnston, and of course, you know, the one they always back, they've had an absolute fortune on him. You know his name.
Wilson.
Absolutely.
So what?
They keep saying that this Wilson chappie will win the Waterloo, and the general public go with it. But what's happened now is that the only one to go through is Burrows. So they bet evens Burrows, and more or less any price bar.
At the start of the quarter-finals, what price was Burrows?
They bet 7-2 Burrows, they bet 7-2 Johnston, and they bet 2-1 your friend.
So now then Burrows is into even money, the other two big losers have gone out. Has anybody been snapping up these others at big prices?
They've backed Heaton at romantic prices, but that were in last 16 and 20-1, 25-1, back down now to 5-2.
You've laid them at all prices?
At all prices coming in.
Is it looking a better book for you now, Charlie?
It's absolutely wonderful, the book.
Well, for the first time in this match, coming down to the corner, parallel with the edge of the green, down towards the Waterloo pub corner. It always reminds me of that part of Lord's where it runs away down towards the Mound stand, Mike.
I've never been, John.
No, but I've seen it, and the ball tends to run away, and this one's travelling not on as much as he wants.
Our co-commentator Mike Leach knows these marks very well on here, John, particularly down the edge.
Yes. Well, Billy Farrell 58, but he's just broken the Waterloo record for running 25 metres. He followed that ball in and beat it to the jack. Now then, Heaton's trying to make inroads here, but it's going to be two to Farrell. He's second two on the trot, puts him 20-16 ahead, and the 58-year-old who was running there like a 28-year-old is one away from a place in the semi.
The question must be asked, is someone up there smiling on the bookies today, John?
Well, someone up there usually does, the great bookie in the sky, so maybe.
Now, this is where a good bowl is needed.
Well, three former champions featured in the quarterfinals, and one of them is through, one of them isn't, and the other one will have to produce the best bowling of his career to stay in the competition. He hasn't on that occasion. It's 1 to Billy Farrell. Are we going to see Billy Farrell, a too infrequent visitor to these parts?
He's urging it on.
He started this game superbly. He's finishing it pretty well as well. It's got to take a good one here from Lee Heaton to deny him. And is it? Oh, drama at the Waterloo. Heaton was virtually out, dead and buried. What a hit, what a strike, what a bowl, what a match.
Yes, it's all there, and that time, of course, Heaton managed to, the strike go in his own favour, if you like. Previously, at the start of the game, it was going against him.
Well, when you make 1 into 2, you're happy. When you make nothing into 2 and certain defeat, you're even happier. You are elated, and he must be, though he isn't demonstrating it, because it's not game over yet. In fact, you have to emphasise that Billy Farrell is still the favourite at 2018.
But will he be deflated by that? That's the question.
Well, he doesn't look deflated to me as he attempts to take this down into this corner of the green.
All about mind games now. Will it play on his mind that he'd almost got a semi-final place booked and saw it taken away from him? We shall soon know.
Well, Billy Farrell has in his left hand at the moment maybe the winning bowl. On the other hand, or in the other hand now, as he delivers it right-handed, it all will be unveiled very shortly. It's going to go beyond.
Not far away.
Heaton's first. It's going beyond this second. Is he going to stop? Oh, it's got to be a measure. I think Heaton's got that.
Heaton won.
In fact, he's got it won. 2019 now. And Heaton's within striking distance of victory as well. Who would have thought before that 25th end that Heaton would be in this position?
But well, it means that this end, John, both players can win the game.
That's what I mean. Heaton's in there as well now. And in fact, with him leading here, maybe he's the favourite. I said at 14 apiece, didn't know which way this one was going to go, and I still don't.
Fair bowl. Beatable though.
Well, there's money on both players here, and nobody yet is throwing away his ticket. As super stuff from Farrell. He got perfect weight on that. If he'd knocked the jack even slightly harder, he'd have knocked it in Heaton's favour. Brilliant stuff from Farrell. That's what he was producing at the start. That's what he's producing now. Farrell wins the game with a quite outstanding bowl. He started with several like that. All credit to Heaton for fighting back with some brilliant play, but it's the 58-year-old Billy Farrell who'll be in the semi-final against Andrew Moss.
So it's Billy Farrell who plays Andy Moss in the second semi-final of this year's Waterloo. Billy, many congratulations. It's amazing that throughout your career it's the first time you've got this far at the Waterloo.
Yeah, I've not entered it very much, probably about 6 or 7 times in my life, and that's probably the reason.
But you won it in 96, Lee. How did you find the green today?
It was fine, nothing wrong with it. I like it a bit heavy, so it was playing all right for me. Can't blame that.
There were some ragged bowls from the two of you, because the pace of the green is changing. I'm not saying it isn't true, but the pace is definitely changing since this morning, for example.
Yeah, it has speeded up a bit, and I think I got it in my head that it was a bit quicker than it actually was, so played a few short ones. Billy stepped in, so played well.
And it was almost like saving the best till last, Billy, wasn't it? Because the last two ends from both of you were absolutely nail-biting stuff.
Yeah, I had to come out with the ball, and I did do it at the end, and I'm glad I did.
Okay, well, you've got Andy Moss in the semi-final. Have you played Andy before?
No, I don't think so.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Lee, commiserations again. Thanks very much for joining us. Billy, we'll see you in the semi-finals.